This 2020 sports brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers in Strongsville. This Mother's Day, shop personalized locket necklaces plus meaningful birdstone jewelry she'll treasure. Find out more at ScheibenJewelers.com. Cavaliers rallied in the fourth quarter after being down by 14 points, but fell apart in the fourth and lose game 2 to the Pistons, 107-97. Head coach Ken Atkinson, how Detroit got way too many second chances at the baskets.
The thing that stood out to me was the offensive rebounds. I think they had 8 offensive rebounds in that fourth quarter, and that's a lot. The rebounding was, I thought we got good stops, made some good defensive plays, and then we couldn't come up with the rebound. I thought the big one was out of the timeout. We said, man, we got to get this, our box out responsibilities on the free throw. They miss, they get the offensive rebound, they score. So, I don't know, we got to fix our rebounding. I think that's the main thing.
Cade Cunningham, 12 of his 25 points in the fourth quarter. Pistons now lead 2 games done. Cunningham added 10 assists. Donovan Mitchell, game high 31 points for the Cavs, only 2 of 9 from three-point range. The Cavs as a team just made 7 of 32 from beyond the arc, including 0 of 11 in the fourth quarter. Game 3 tomorrow afternoon at Rocket Arena. Elsewhere in the NBA playoffs, Western Conference semifinals, Oklahoma City beats the LA Lakers 125-107. Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander each with 22 points. Thunder leads that series 2 games to none. OKC 6-0 in the postseason. Game 3 tomorrow in Los Angeles. Guardians top the Royals 8-5. Bo Naylor pair of hits, including a 3-run homer, which turned out to be the difference. Guardians split the 4-game series. Kyle Manzardo 2-run double scored a run. The Guardians go 4-3 on the road trip. Slade Ciccone won his second straight start, gives up 2 runs over 5 1/3 innings. Browns get rookie minicamp underway this afternoon in Berea. The Browns going to have their draft class, along with some undrafted free agents and those in for a tryout at the minicamp this weekend. Following practice day, we will hear from head coach Todd Monken live right here on 92.3 The Fan. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Harden. Lost the handle. Scooped up by Thompson. Another Harden turnover. Jenkins is fouled. Mobley, deep corner, Trey off the mark. Harris the board. And the Pistons can dribble out the clock. Detroit looked down and out in the Orlando series. Down 3-1 to the Magic. They've won 5 straight games.
Another, not a great start, for that starting group. So we know the deal here. We got to look at everything. Is there a jolt from somewhere? We just got to look at everything. We tried to change up our coverages, tried to be a little more aggressive to get our mojo going. I don't know what it is at the start of games. I mean, they came out super aggressive, of course, but it's playoffs. So obviously haven't figured that one out. Still back to the drawing board.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
All right, no big deal. Just got to win 4 or 5. That's all, right? That's all you got to do against Detroit Pistons. Come home, just take care of your... Andy Basket is it for Ken Carman. The series is over, isn't it?
It's almost over. It feels that way.
You're not ready to say it's over after watching that?
I don't know. You watch this team, you look at who they have on the floor, you're like, why is this team not winning? And then all of a sudden...
Well, I saw why they weren't winning. I saw James Harden looking like he's 75 years old. It's a pretty easy answer.
How many more minutes does he need to play? I mean, he's the only guy you can leave out on the floor that can run the offense, but then everything else is running when he gets inside the paint. That's
Andy,
the problem.
The series is over, right?
I'm not going to say it's over, but it's...
What's the hesitation?
It's because it's 4 out of 5. It's basketball. They come back here. They win 2. Now all of a sudden you're tied at 2. It's a best of 3.
Win 2. Wait, give me the formula for the wins after what you've seen so far in the 2 games.
How about play more quarters like you did in the third quarter and you don't turn the ball over? Stop turning the ball over. It's just like, and then can they shoot that bad from 3 again in the fourth quarter?
So they were 7 of 32.
They were brutal in the fourth quarter. Brutal.
Yeah, they were 7 of 32 in this game. You can't find any numbers that show that this team statistically from beyond the arc, I poured through the numbers on this. They have been so bad at open threes in the Toronto series. They're actually the worst of all the NBA playoff teams when it comes to open threes. So, after the game, they'll probably say, no, we created good shots. And I think they're actually getting better shots in this series than they were against Toronto. But in the end, you mentioned turnovers. They actually only had one more turnover for the game than the Pistons did.
But they put themselves in such a hole in the first half by turning the ball over. That first quarter was pathetic.
Yeah, there were like 7 trips where
4 turnovers in less than 4 minutes. I mean, what was the game plan?
And by the way, none of those were Harden. I remember that sequence. None of them were Harden. So that's where you knew. You're like, well, eventually Harden's going to turn the ball over. And he did. He did, as you saw it, in the final stretch of the game when you were looking at a desperate situation. So they lose 107-97. So Donovan Mitchell, he scored 31. It was not the most efficient 31 in the world, but I watched that game and I saw Donovan and the way he moved on defense, and I'm like, man, it feels to me like offensively that might be as good as it gets in the series, and they still lost a game.
I think he can be better. I mean, he was 2 of 9 from 3.
And Andy, I feel like he's a one-way player. I feel like he is offense only, and when he has bad trips on offense, he's compounding it because there's a cut-up of him on defense. If this were a TV show, I would go to the green screen and show you the lack of effort for him on defense. And the thing is, Donovan has to make up for how bad James Harden is. And when none of that is happening and your backcourt is struggling the way they are, and Evan Mobley, did he finish the game? Is this a typo that he finished the game with 9 points and 1 rebound? Is that a typo? That cannot be.
That's the real stat line.
Oh.
That happened in a playoff game.
Yes.
In your coveted
36
Eastern
minutes? Conference
semifinal game 2.
So, Donovan, I think something's off.
Where was Max Strus last night?
Well, he was what Max Strus is. I kind of said this during the game. He was due for a bad shooting night, and what was he, 1 for 6 from 3-point range?
3 points last night. 3 points. Did I say that again? 3 points. You look through that box score last night. I could watch Jalen Tyson play all day though. I love the way he plays. That guy's. They only got 22. I mean, he got 22 minutes. He only had 11 in game 1, and he's just aggressive. He works hard. He never stops.
Or does it look that way? Does it look that way, Andy? Because nobody else is doing anything. Detroit has like 20 of Jalen Tyson's, and you've got 1. And people are clamoring for him to start next game. Is that going to change their fortunes? He has 7 points in 2 games.
Jeff wanted Strus to start yesterday over Dean Wade. Again, if you've got Dean Wade, he's playing in the fourth quarter yesterday. I'm going, what? Really? Because we got to get some points here. We got to get some points. Wade ended up with 8 last night, 3 for 6 from the field, 2 for.
All right. Do you want me to big picture this?
Let me give you the one problem I have. How are you not ready? How are you not ready again? Like, they look like crap in the beginning of the game. They weren't ready. They come out, they score that first 3-pointer, and you're like, okay, maybe things have changed. Maybe they're organized. Maybe they're ready. They weren't prepared for the beginning of the game again. And you go into it like, let's push the ball. No one's in foul trouble in the beginning of the game. All you got to do is play your game and just play even basketball. Those turnovers again, and I know the way it came out at the end of the game, where Detroit was close and the Cavs were neck and neck in turnovers, you can't put yourself in a hole every game. I don't know how this team is going to win 4 out of 5 games. I want to be optimistic. I don't want to dump all over them. I don't want to start talking about what the roster is going to look like next year. But, I mean, this is the most overpriced team maybe in Cleveland sports history, that's for sure.
They have been outscored in the first quarter, and especially because this was the attention to detail. This was one of the big coaching points. If you listen to the guys after game 1, they've been outscored 62-39. They've been outscored by 23 points in the first quarter in these 2 games. If you go the rest of the way, they're winning the series. Like, right? If you go second, third, fourth in both games, the Cavs have outscored the Pistons, but they're down 23 in the first quarter.
You're in a hole. How are you not ready? Especially after game 1 and what we watched in Toronto. How are you not ready to play basketball? Because they weren't ready yesterday. And it just, is it nerves? I don't think that arena is so intimidating.
No, I don't think it's nerves.
I was talking to folks that went up there for game 1. They were saying late arriving crowd, Like they weren't really into it in the beginning of the game. How about Dan Gilbert yesterday? He bussed 500 people to the game. He paid for the whole way.
Yeah.
500.
I was getting a text from my buddy Dustin, who was at the game and was living large. And basically anybody that was there before the game, there was basically a pep rally before both games, and various members of the Cavs brass got on the mic and they were letting them know. And of course, I was getting the text from Dustin going, "Oh, they're 100% winning this game. There's no chance they come out and fall flat, and then they get outscored 25 to 18
I will
in the
say
first."
this for Dan Gilbert. I mean, he doesn't hesitate to spend money ever. Do you know when they were in the NBA Finals and they would fly back and forth to Oakland, San Francisco, Bay Area, whatever you want to call it? I mean, he was paying for those flights to go. He was taking. I mean, it wasn't like he was taking the front office and all the scouts. Dude, he was taking the guys that pop popcorn, the folks that work in the suites, like your neighbors, like people that we know, like those folks were getting to hop on a plane and go watch the NBA Finals. Yesterday they did it on a bus.
Well, they will not be going to the. He will not be taking anybody to the Eastern Conference Finals right now. The way it's looking in this series, down 2-1.
Oh, Uncle.
So,
Man.
Obviously, again, second straight, just total non-entity, James Harden. And here's the thing: it's one thing to have bad games because you're just not being able to shoot. I mean, he looks like he can't play. He looks like he can't physically be on the floor. I did not expect him, especially the Toronto series. I thought he was fine over the course of 7 games. I thought he was a plus player for them. I thought he helped them. I had said that, man, if Darius would have really been suffocated by the size of Toronto. And then I don't know if it's the short turnaround, the fact that we've already played 2 games since that game 7. But James looks like he can't physically even be on the floor in the series, and yet they have to play him. He played 37 minutes last night.
Yeah, he and Mitchell.
Because why did they have to play him? I know people are probably screaming at their radio right now. Anthony, why in the world after James, who's dribbling and falling down? And, he only had 4 turnovers in this game, probably because he just didn't want the ball as much. I know he only got 2 shots in the fourth quarter of this game, or the second half of this game.
Second half.
Yeah, Kenny had some comments on that. I don't think he wants the ball. I think he looks at those defenders and says, all my tricks have basically washed up. Like Detroit physically can take me, steer me wherever they want on the floor, and none of the foul baiting stuff is really working. I know he drew 5 fouls in the first half.
Yeah.
And that was about the only good thing I could say about James Harden is he drew some of them fouls. And one of them was another almost turnover, and then they shoved him, back behind half court. But, they are not worried about James Harden in this series at all.
So here's the other question. If Harden's got the ball, how is that affecting Evan Mobley? Is that taking Mobley? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Does Mobley want the ball?
Well, I don't know. 1 rebound yesterday on top of everything else. I don't know. I thought Jared Allen played well last night. 31 minutes, 22 points. There were little things here that you were like, oh, okay. I don't know how this team wins 4 out of 5. That's the hard reality of what you're looking at. You can only play 1 game at a time, but I'm looking at the whole pie, and the pie does not look good. What Jeff Thomas said: 7% of teams that are down 0-2 come back to win a series. 7%. Now, then again, we were a franchise that came back from 3-1 in the NBA Finals, so anything can happen. But
you're looking at the body language of these guys. You're watching them really, really. I'm telling you, I'll show you during the break. Dean Wade was about. There was a staggered set that they ran, Detroit. And Dean Wade was trailing, and it's an obvious switch off. He's passing the switch off to Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan does not. You want to talk about whatever the antithesis of fighting through a screen is, and Dean Wade slumps his shoulders over and is basically like, well, we're just giving up here. And that's to Donovan Mitchell. And I'm telling you, I know the minute this series ends, we're going to hear about a surgery coming up for Donovan or something.
Do you think he's hurt?
I 100% think he's hurt.
Yeah, something doesn't seem right there.
Yeah.
Still at 31 points for being hurt, if that's true.
And Donovan is still very crafty, but you can see he is not getting to the basket.
He was asked about it last night.
Oh, he was?
Here you go.
Hey, Donovan, what were you playing through in the second half there?
Playing through?
Yeah, what were you playing through?
Nothing.
Looked like you were a little hobbled.
No.
Yeah. I think Chris.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I don't believe him either. I mean, I also put up on X last night, I put up a highlight of him sprinting, quote, back on defense. And he is moving his arms. He's doing the thing in high school where someone who's been yelled by the coach, yelled at, like, you got to get back. You've got to show some hustle. And the arms are moving at a faster rate than the legs are. And I'm like, oh, he's messed up. Like, because he can do side to side, the little things. Like, all right, I can challenge a contest. I see he's got his right foot forward. Because I'm Donovan Mitchell, I've got a full bag of things I can do. But outside of that, he looks like he's not, for the how many straight year, is not going to be able to get past the second round. And I'm not talking because they can't win the series. I'm talking about he looks like he's going to be on fumes again. And he only played 37 minutes. So we monitored this in game one. Like, how many minutes could Donovan Mitchell go? And in the first game, he went 35. Cade went 42. In this game, guess what? Cade went 42. He went 37. So Tobias Harris and Cade Cunningham have played more minutes in this series than Donovan Mitchell. And when you look at what else the Cavs have, and you're getting nothing out of James Harden, why is Donovan only playing that many minutes? It's because he can't. He can't physically play any more minutes. That if that doesn't tell you that he is banged up, which fans don't want to hear, fans don't care because they're being told you have to write another check for $70 million a year for Donovan Mitchell, and it's going to be yet another year where he doesn't get out of the second round. There's a lot of bad options following this. Trading Darius Garland.
Here's the only place where I'll say maybe you're not right, because if you think that, like, you're getting energy minutes from Tyson or you're getting energy minutes from Schroeder, right? Or Schroeder, that you might have the opportunity to try to save him a minute or two. I mean, that's really what you're talking about there, right? You're talking about the difference between playing.
I'm saying superstars play 40 minutes in the playoffs, especially when the season's on the line, and they look like they're in an impossible spot.
But if they're down, right, and they're trying to come back, and you have other guards in the game, and they're helping you get back into the game, even though Donovan Mitchell's a superstar, right? Even if you know this and you're coming back, why would you take those guys off the floor? Do you understand? If they're like, they had success in certain points in games.
I can tell you. I mean, they're role players who are probably incapable of being able to deliver that.
Yeah, but you're talking about 1 or 2 minutes here.
I think
I can't sit here and nitpick over 3 minutes.
Andy, I will. There were minutes in the fourth quarter where Donovan was on the bench, and the Cavs looked kind of aimless. And you need your superstar out there because the guy next to him, James Harden, is giving you zilch.
So what are you getting from Mobley? Like, that's the other thing, too. You're not getting...
That's part of the issue.
Like, to me, when you start talking about the future here, it's the Mobley part of it that it makes me think, I don't know if maybe Evan isn't long for this team.
All right, 216-474-0092. We have plenty of reaction from the Cavs after the game. What Kenny Atkinson had to say about getting James Harden more involved in the offense. Is that something fans want to see? I suspect probably no. I want to get your reaction. Who's responsible for this mess as the Cavs are down 2-0? 216-474-0092. Later on in the show, we have Justin Termin get some national perspective at 9 o'clock because it is all bad from the national guys on the state of affairs for your Cavaliers, who now have to win 4 of their last 5 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. Anthony Lima, Andy Baskin in for Ken Carman on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
put that on me. We tried to, I think the idea in the second half was to push the pace, and try to play quicker and get the ball up the court. And he was doing a great job getting off it. But our offense isn't at a point now, like when him and Don should get off it, it should come back to them at some point. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that didn't. Both him and Don didn't kind of circle back to him. So we got to look at it. We can't have our Hall of Famer taking 2 shots in the second half. I'll take that one.
Funny thing is, and that's Kenny Atkinson following the 107-97 Cavs loss, now down 2-0 as the series shifts to Cleveland for tomorrow. Game 3, we'll have a chance for you to win Cavs tickets. Can you be a part of the solution? At 9 o'clock, your chance to win Cavs tickets to Game 3. I will be there, although my wife did text me from upstairs in the final minute of the game. Are you still going to Game 3?
I'm kind of on your wife's side at
Yeah,
this point.
How would you not go to Game 3?
Yeah, I do wonder about that because technically it's like, all right, you handle your business at home. That's what you said in the opening segment. I've lost all faith. I mean, any of the faith.
Really? I'll take your tickets. You got tickets? I'll take them off your hands. I'll go.
Baskin, I see where you sit at some of the Cavs
That's
games.
true.
I don't think you want my tickets.
Oh, how bad are yours?
I think if people knew or had a chance to have your tickets, even the biggest hater, even Nick Wilson would want to go to the game if he had a chance to sit where you sit at some of these games.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have good friends. I can tell you that.
So,
every once in a while, I find myself sitting down there.
So you heard Kenny Atkinson there, and I think people would argue that's 2 shots too many for James Harden when he's saying, well, the Hall of Famer only got 2 shots in the second half. Well, he's not a Hall of Famer. And I thought in the first series
Harden
against
only
Toronto.
took 2 shots in the second half. Is that right?
And then had that turnover with 45 seconds left.
Now, I
when they were
would
down
say
6.
like the one thing that Harden has been doing is drawing fouls, right? So
yeah, that's true.
Even if he's not making his shots, you should at least try to get him in there to see if he can create some foul problems for Detroit.
How about the one time he got pushed at half court and I was like, a little bit of flop.
It very easily.
Yeah.
Now, I thought they were hacking him all over the place there in some of those sequences, but in the end, it's playoff basketball, and you have to be able to handle, that physicality. And James, you can look at it. He does not want to get any further than about 6 feet from the basket, and he'll start to retreat. And he coughed it up a couple of times because of that. He kind of aimlessly threw one to a cutter that wound up as a turnover in the first half where old James Harden would have easily raised up and been able to finish. So they have completely neutralized a lot of his tricks.
You got to help me with one play, both guys. Owen, help me with this too. Did you guys remember in the fourth quarter, Mitchell took a 3-point shot and was it Mitchell that took a 3-point shot and got fouled in the fourth quarter? Do you guys remember that? It was late. It was one of the free throws, and I was like, he was outside the arc. Why didn't he get 3 free throws? Maybe I'm wrong. I'll go back and look at it.
Was that the one? Did they call it on the floor?
I think they called it on the floor.
So they were in the bonus. So
it
was just 2 free throws.
Okay. That's why I couldn't tell. And I was like, I don't understand. He's outside the arc. That was kind of a lame call.
No, I mean,
the more I think about it.
I thought the first game, I thought they got totally homered by the officials. This is. I mean, you're 7 of 32. You did go to the free throw line actually 7 more times than the Pistons. Donovan finally got to the foul line. I was hoping he'd had one of his mythical 20 free throw attempt games. He ended up, when all was said and done, with 9 free throws. 9 free throws. He was 7 of 9 from the charity stripe. And this one had nothing to do with the officials. I mean,
here's the other thing too. I'm seeing a lot of guys get whacked in the head. Like last night's game, I was seeing guys getting. Somebody took a shot and then the arm came through and just blew somebody up in the face. And I'm like, how do you not call that?
Well, and I think even when you look back to the Raptors series and in the 2 games of this series, I think Cavs opponents are seeing this on tape and going, until it gets called, we're going to keep doing it.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
And,
well, remember,
it's not getting called the way that obviously Cavs fans want it to be called, right?
Well, remember, Toronto in the opening quarter, there were multiple games where they had 7 or 8 fouls. Yeah. And basically it was, we are going to set the tone that we are going to be physical. And, we might get some fouls. We might pick up some foul trouble here and there. But in the end, this is going to benefit us because the officials can't call it the whole game. And I feel like Detroit very similarly. Like they have no problem being very handsy, being very physical. But we don't have a way to combat it.
No.
Especially,
and now that it's a 2-0 series, like if you're Detroit, why stop now, right?
Oh,
Even if it costs you a game, why stop now?
Well, they also think they're in the heads, and they probably are, right? Mm-hmm. They're in the heads of the Cavs, and they
Clearly
know
from body language wise.
Yeah, they know the Cavs don't have a lot in the way of answers to what they're doing. Now, with all that said, yes, the Cavs have gotten back into these games. They've expended energy to do it.
But isn't that the NBA? Isn't that the script? Let's be honest. I mean, I'm watching these games and I'm going, we know the script. I've seen this before. I just watched this in game 1. You're going to fall behind early. You're going to turn the ball over. Next thing you know, you're going to be back. Ooh, you might even take a little bit of a lead, and then home team takes off and wins. Now, if you're not hitting buckets, that's on you. Like the first game, I was a little irritated with the officials because I look at officials like this, especially at any level in any sport. Your main job is to keep players safe, and your secondary job is to keep the game moving forward. And then anything that happens after that is good news. It's just you've done your job. I think that's what the officials' job. Make sure nobody gets killed. Keep people safe, especially at younger ages. And then, keep the game moving forward. I don't know. I don't want to talk about refereeing, and I don't want to look at.
Yeah, I didn't think it was
game 1.
I honestly did not think it was a factor yesterday.
I didn't either, but no, it wasn't. I don't think it was.
So they are trying to figure out, answers wherever they can, and we're sitting here debating whether or not James Harden should have gotten more shots in the fourth quarter, and it just harkens back to an issue I have with this team in general with how they're playing right now. You see Detroit, they mismatch hunted the entire fourth quarter. When that game got close,
yeah, they did.
They said, all right, where is Donovan? Where is James? When Tobias Harris with his size and Cade Cunningham with his size, they have aggressively sought out and destroyed those matchups. And that is playoff basketball. We can talk about running actions, running sets, all the X's and O's. My whole life, playoff basketball has root out a weakness, a vulnerability, and expose it. And they were able to do it fairly easily. My question is, what in the world could the Cavs even do to counter that when we're on offense? Who can create a mismatch? Because on paper, yeah, you're 2 Hall of Famers, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. That's 2 guards that should be able to get here and there, get to the basket, get to the foul line. Well, they can't do it in this series. So where is your mismatch? Evan Mobley, not really a mismatch. There were times they had Jared Allen, picked up. He had Duncan Robinson on his back. They went to him. He got a bucket.
Yeah.
But are you relying on that in the fourth quarter of a tight game? So I think that underscores one of the larger issues in this series is if your guys can't create an advantage and can't take advantage of that, then what do you have? What tools do you actually have?
You don't.
In a close game.
Other than Harden and Mitchell is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying they're part of the inability to create the big downhill mismatch. Part of it is, hey, Donovan Mitchell can draw double teams, can draw triple teams, free up other guys. Have you really seen that version of Donovan Mitchell in this series?
The other part is that we haven't seen them they've had, what's their biggest lead in this? 3? What's the biggest lead they've had?
They've been playing from behind, it feels like the entire playoffs.
Might be 3, yeah.
So, and the other part of it is, too, if you can't take a bigger lead than 3, how about just get up 8, right? Just one time, get up 8. I think you can get more into your offense. You can't. You can take a little bit more chances when you're up, but they seem locked into that. When they get into that half court offense, you're right. There's no one's cutting loose. No one's getting open, and now they like in the beginning when Harden first got here. Didn't it feel like the ball was moving all over the place?
Oh yeah,
and that they were able to establish.
Harden
some of
was
that
great
stuff.
in the regular season.
But now they just they can't move it. So is that JB? Like JB knows the X-rays, right? JB knows what your X-rays look like, and he's going to exploit you left and right. Their defense has they only scored 97 points last night. Like if you don't get to 100 in an NBA playoff game, you're not winning. Point blank, doesn't matter. Go back and look at the games that they won against Toronto. What 114? They're above that every game.
I think a big part of the inability to actually get a lead or sustain a lead is you watch all these teams in the playoffs, like they can go on a spurt because they can turn their defense into offense. And even when the Cavs are able to turn over, whether it was Toronto or Detroit, there's no breakout. There's no 3-on-1. There's no easy leak ahead and a bucket to get that spurt going. And again, fast break points yesterday.
4.
The Cavs ended up with 4.
Oh.
Now, you did a better job. You didn't give up nearly as many as you did in Game 1 to the Pistons. They had 13 fast break points. But you just have no way to get the easy basket. And so much of, in the playoffs, Like, you're not going to get as many opportunities to get out and run, but when you do, you have to cash in. And how many times did I see either Donovan or James where they might have had a glimmer of hope with a numbers edge, a power play? I'll speak your language, Andy Baskin, a power play. And how many of those just ended up with dribbling the ball back out to the three-point line, and there goes the edge. 216-474-0092. When we come back, what are the players saying about what transpired yesterday? I don't know if this will make you feel any better. It's Lima and Baskin in for Ken Carman. Cavs down 2-0 here on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Hey, everybody, it's Andy Baskin for
and TuneIn app.
Just missing shots. Second half, I think I took 2 shots, but I think the ball was moving and we were getting better shots. You know what I mean? So just picking and choosing my spots and figuring out what works, what doesn't work for the betterment of the team. I mean, it's the playoffs, you know what I mean? So I don't think necessarily it's just difficult no matter what. You know what I mean? Like we faced that, last series as well. You know what I mean? So I think it's just making the right play once you get, in the paint. Or even before you get to the paint, you know what I mean? Just simplifying the game and creating a domino effect. So.
That was James Harden following yet another playoff game where he turned the ball over more than he connected on field goal attempts. And listen, Andy, I know sometimes it's very early. I love when you text me during the show when I'm getting the big man all red-faced.
Oh, it's fun.
But we were on the same page after the Harden deal. I thought the Harden deal was out of...
Me and you?
No, the big man.
Ken.
Yeah, who will be back next week. But Santa,
that's
right. He is a big James Harden fan because he loves the gifts that James continues to give to the opposing teams. I don't know who weighs more right now, James Harden or Santa Claus.
You're just ripping him off.
I will say this.
You're fat shaming this morning.
This show was in unison. I know when he was playing well, I was like, he's husky. He's husky
big
size.
bone. I'm big bone.
Well, you're right, though. I was excited that it was a change, right?
Yeah.
It was a change. Maybe it was for the sake of change.
Because we knew the expiration
right.
on Darius, and we didn't even know that he was going to, at the end, say he was playing with 9 toes.
Which one would you rather have? Harden out there stumbling over himself, turning over the ball, taking 2 shots in the second half, or Darius on the bench in street clothes? Because that's what we'd have right now.
Yeah, he's right.
The funny thing is,
let's say he was healthy.
Let's
just say he was healthy.
I know where you're
the
going.
The funny thing is, neither of them on the floor, you're like, how could it be worse? How could it be worse than what James Harden is doing right now? So I'm eating a ton of crow today, and rightfully so. I thought people would be lined up to go after me. I thought Nick Wilson would be in. And how could I defend it? My position was they were up against it with the trade situation as is. They knew the physical when it came to Darius. I didn't even know if he would pass his physical. I think they had to give another second-round pick just to make the trade go down. If you remember that was the reporting that they had to throw it in.
Yeah.
But they knew the medicals on Darius. And unfortunately, when it was first discussed for James, I'm like, well, I'd rather get a wing. But the trade value was so suppressed or depressed, I should say, for Darius Garland that they had to trade for a 37-year-old James Harden, and this is all they could get for Darius. So in the end, I do think James was outstanding in the regular season, and I thought he was good enough in the first round. But you didn't trade for James Harden to just flame out again in the second round and have him be a big reason why. And unfortunately, that's where it is, and there's going to be egg on the face of everybody. Yes, I wanted the trade, but the people that actually signed off on the trade, jobs could 100% be on the line the way this is going.
So, when I look at Kenny now, I was in Game 7. They entered the second half of the Game 7 against Toronto tied. I'm like, is Kenny coaching for his job here? Is Kenny down to his last 2 quarters? Now I'm like, is Kenny down to his last 8 quarters? If they get beat, I don't know how you sit here and you're looking at a $228.9 million payroll.
Oh, you got to remember
the second apron.
You got to remember the 60+ million or 50 to 60+ million in taxes that Dan Gilbert was assessed to compile this team that is down 0-2 and looks like they are feckless against that defense.
Second apron, they were hiding under the second apron. The players literally hiding under the apron last night, and that's their 3-point shooting was pathetic in the fourth quarter. And because you put yourself in desperation time, right? Like you're forcing the shots. Nothing really felt like it was fluid. You know how when teams come out there and they're like, oh man, they're on a roll. Oh, they're not going to miss. Oh, they're going to hit that 3. Up that 3. Like I cringe every time I see Evan Mobley shoot a 3 still. But I cringe.
And the funny thing is, you're looking at all the options of what else they have. What's your solution?
I don't have one.
You want more Thomas Bryant? Here, by the way.
I'll give you a solution. Don't turn the ball over in the first half so you don't have to come back and bury threes left and right in the second half of the game.
Unfortunately, I think that's their lot in life in these playoffs. I think they are a turnover team, especially Donovan with whatever. And we'll get into the Donovan discussion, coming up next segment, because people are saying I'm making excuses for him, but I can only tell you what my eyes are telling me. Meanwhile, it was another rough one for James Harden, and he's starting to get the national onslaught of criticism. Here's Kendrick Perkins.
He should not be playing the minutes that he's playing right now. James Harden is being a liability on both ends of the floor. He's costing his team's possessions, and on top of that, he's not defending anyone. They tried to put him on Cade Cunningham, and Cade just went to work on him. We're not taking anything from James Harden of the past, but we're talking about the James Harden of now. And Kenny Atkinson had some interesting comments after the game in his post-game interview, Scott. He said, it's on me. I'll take the blame for only getting James Harden 2 shots in the fourth quarter. And I'm sitting up here listening, and I said, what? That's what you come to the podium talking about? No, how about a lineup adjustment and taking him out the game?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of agree. The issue is, what do you have as a solution? Okay, you're putting him on the bench. What are you going to? And I know you were talking that you love the unit that got them back into the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are clamoring for that. But what's the staying power of that?
The question is when do you pull them off the floor and go back to your starters? That's because I don't know if you remember. I think it was the Toronto series,
Game 5 where they kept Schroeder in.
Yeah, and because Donovan said leave him in.
Yeah, that was Game 5. And they won that game.
And so maybe
Schroeder was a
sense.
big reason why.
And Kenny was like, "What? You want me to leave him in? I'm going to put you back in the game." And he was like, no, these guys are on a roll. I mean, I gave Kenny credit for that. Kenny just looks beaten up right now, doesn't he? He looks. Oh, by the way, did he get off the bench enough for everybody last night? Was he working the floor?
I had it written down. I had it written down that I wanted to see him work the refs, and I wanted to see him. Survey says, Owen, what'd you see? I saw a lot of the same, Kenny.
Yeah. You know as well as I do, from a guy that does TV, that you're making a judgment based on watching 3-second clips.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm overreacting.
You know that. Oh, total
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Oh, I need Kenny to roam the sideline.
100%.
Why isn't he yelling at the referees more?
But when I see JB having his 3-hour expanded conversation with the officials, I'm like, did he actually buy some calls? Now, I thought the officiate was
Does anybody whine and moan more than NBA players, though? Every foul isn't a foul. Every foul is not a foul.
Well, sometimes you can work officials.
Jared Allen got called for a foul yesterday. Listen, he got called for a foul yesterday and didn't say anything, and I was like, all right, I like that.
All right, let me go to...
I mean, he didn't say a word. I was like, that's the way to be a man. Jared took the foul. He got the foul, didn't say anything about it. It was over. Every time Detroit gets a foul, man, they're John. I think that's LeBron effect, too. LeBron was... well, maybe it's more Jordan effect. Jordan was with that guy, too, right? Always on the referee after everything. LeBron, always after the referee.
I think there is a science to it. Jeff in Lakewood, go ahead. Next up on the fan. How are you, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
What's going on, guys? Great job.
Hey.
Lima, you made a point, man, and I'm going to be truly honest. I love the Cavaliers. I'm talking about the history of the Cavaliers. I despise this team. I got a buddy of mine. We didn't say nothing. Lima, I'm telling you from my heart, we didn't say nothing to nobody. We seen this come. We said going to hit the fan. And Lyman, you made a point, man, just a minute ago, and I'll remind you of it. You said your eyes. That's all people got to do is just open your eyes and watch the game, man. The Cavaliers, I've seen this coming before all through regular season. This team got too many red flags. They got too many red flags. And I was telling the guys the other day, you seen Donovan and Mobley and Harden, man. Them the 3 really max players. And every time you look around, they fumbling and falling on the floor they ain't got no balance. But the thing is, I want the fans of Cleveland to know, man, I seen this coming out, and I don't even try to beat a dead horse. Detroit taking one of them games tomorrow. I promise you, the series over. And deep down, man, I want to see New York and Detroit in the conference.
I did too.
Because the Cavaliers not. I want to see Detroit. And the thing is, and I want to make a point. Now you watch Brunson. Watch what Brunson do. I promise you they won't get that off on Brunson. I promise you.
All right, Jeff. I appreciate the call. Listen, we're going to have a discussion about this. This is absolutely what the Cavs chose. This was the path the Cavs chose. And I'm just curious. We haven't any second thoughts about that. And that question is aimed squarely at me as well. 216-474-0092. Baskin is in for Ken Carman. We will have your chance to win Cavs tickets to Game 3 coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. But we will get more of your reaction coming up next right here at Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
I'm Jeff Thomas.
Baseball, basketball, and the Browns. It's why you need the afternoon drive. Weekdays starting at 2.
I think we found some stuff tonight that gives us some, positive feeling going into game 3, tactically. And then, like I said, despite that fourth quarter rebounding, I thought we won the possession game +3, only 2 turnovers in the second half. So, a lot of positives in that second half.
This series is over, right?
I'm not going to say it's over, but it's
what's the hesitation?
It's because it's 4 out of 5. It's basketball. They come back here, they win 2. Now all of a sudden you're tied at 2.
Baskin going through the math on how the Cavs can get back in this series, and it all starts tomorrow as the scene shifts to Cleveland, 3 o'clock, with the Cavs. Season on the line. I thought Season was on the line yesterday. And
yeah, you walked out the door. You were like, oh, they don't win tonight. It's over.
Well, you saw they came out. They got outscored 25-18, and in the opening quarters, they've been outscored 62-39. Hey, second through the fourth, we've won the series. It's that pesky first quarter.
Do we get credit for that?
Yeah.
In a weighted system.
Math,
I've been saying for years, you've got to wait as the game gets further along. You should be given more credit, but it was
give them more credit.
It was
for what?
awful.
Would you get extra points for winning quarters?
Yeah, that's all I'm talking about.
Hey, they won the period. Oh well, the team that wins the most periods in this hockey tournament.
Look, that's
that's good. Oh, they lost the game though. But they won the period. Give them half point consolation. It doesn't work that way in the NBA.
No, it doesn't.
By the way, you're talking about me doing math. We had a class called Algebra 3 at Heights when I went there. Algebra 3 was like you got to, you're.
Is that like AP?
No, it was like third semester or third year of algebra.
Like you're not.
Yeah, for me,
you're not good enough to advance on to the hard stuff.
That is correct.
You're better than the.
It means when you fail it twice, you got to take it a third time.
Oh boy.
So yeah.
Well, I can tell you.
You're talking about me doing math. I'm like getting in the sweats, man. I'm like,
I thought you were going to have him power rank his favorite math classes at Heights.
Well, it'd be algebra 1 through 3, right?
No, it would be like first grade. Dubovec, F. Asamoto, F. I don't even know any math class that I actually passed.
Oh, these are your teachers or your classmates?
Oh, I thought you wanted to power rate my teachers.
I can tell you the math is not on the Cavs side right now, as they got to win 4 of 5.
Wessels, F. I remember the other F I got. Yeah.
You
Atkinson, F.
F.
Yeah,
Yes.
Harden, F. Mobley.
Why is it that
F. D?
Why do I remember teachers that failed me? Oh, because they failed me. Maybe I failed myself.
Maybe that you just need to put more effort in, and that's what the Cavs need to do to come out of these games. But overall, it's not just the first quarter. Obviously, we're looking for quick fixes. We're looking for anything, but they've given me no reason. Not just this series. If you add the 7 games from the Toronto series, a series that you were supposed to win in a lot quicker fashion than you did. I haven't seen any pulse. I haven't seen any kind of a team that I can get behind. There
was a moment last night, though, when Donovan Mitchell hit a bucket, and he was like, and they showed that replay like 6 times. And I think as a fan, you were back. You were in, and you're like, okay, they're going to walk out of here 1-1. You thought they were coming back. He hits a big bucket, and then all of a sudden you can't find the inside of the rim, especially from three-point land in the fourth quarter.
Andy, I have hate watched this team now ever since those first 2 games against Toronto where they handled their business. Harden and Donovan looked like stars. I don't know if they look like superstars, but they look like stars. Since then, it's basically been hate watching my favorite team in the world, and you never want to be in that spot. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Where you maybe
I get it.
Maybe Browns fans can kind of tell me, where, or can relate to where I'm coming from.
Yeah, we hate watch every week.
This has been hate watching. I don't know any other way to describe.
Why does it feel like every possession for the Cavaliers is you're sweating bullets? You're like, I don't know if they're going to be able to make a basket. And then Detroit's shoot, boom. It comes too easy.
It almost feels like, all right, Detroit, it's a game of runs. Like you've identified that. Obviously, the NBA, even in the playoffs, no matter how bad you play, you can always get back into these games. I don't think there's a huge gap between Detroit, Cleveland, Toronto, New York, Philly.
No.
Boston, who's eliminated. I don't think there's a huge gap between these
City,
guys.
There's a gap between and San Antonio.
Yeah, we are talking about the Eastern Conference, though.
Yeah, the Western Conference Finals should be the NBA Finals.
It's almost part of the indictment of the Eastern Conference in general, which is why they gave me hope that the Cavs could come out of the Eastern Conference is that with all of the hellacious turnovers, as bad as Harden has looked, they're right there with them in the fourth quarter. And that's not because I think the Cavs turned it on or played well.
Both games.
I think it's more of an indictment of the Eastern Conference.
Somebody's got to win it.
Yes, somebody has to win.
It's not us because we can't control the ball at all or get rebounds.
Yeah, and I almost think when it's gotten close, I think Detroit has been like, oh, let's go back to our matchup hunting. Let's go back to isolating either Donovan Mitchell or James Harden one-on-one. They can't guard us. We can get by them. And they've been able to then get easy baskets when the game is on the line. Look at Cade. He gets to about 6 feet away from the basket. And you might say, oh, no, that's a contested shot. Doesn't matter. Cade doesn't even see Donovan Mitchell and the contest or James Harden. He doesn't even see that. And so you just don't have answers. And when you get to the nut cutting time, they do. They do have those answers. And so that's why I'm so dispirited. That's why, if you're wondering why I sound negative during the playoffs, where I thought I wouldn't be this negative, at least this early in the playoffs.
How can you not be negative? They didn't come out ready for either one of these first two games. They didn't. I mean, you're turning the ball over. I could understand a little Game 7 hangover. Detroit didn't seem to have it, though.
Yeah, they played 7 games.
And you're on the road. All right, I'll give you Game 1. They just needed to go to Detroit and get one of these two games, and they didn't. They came home empty after luring you in, right? I mean, if you were writing this as a producer or as a writer for a TV show, you would be like, okay, we're going to give a team a big lead, and then the other team's going to come back, and now you're hooked. Now you got to see what the ending is. I mean, if you watched the build-up last night on Prime, you're like, oh, this worked out. Remember, we're going to have a fantastic fourth quarter here in Detroit because this game is now so close. It was like 2 points, 3 points at that point. And it was right. And so if you ask me, these games are written for television. They really are. Because you don't know what the outcome is going to be at the end.
Well, if that's the case.
And now you're having suspense.
If that's the case, is that the formula for this series to extend, that the NBA is going to make sure of it?
Yes.
Because for once, I'm on board with that. Let's go.
So now all of a sudden they come back here and it's 2-2. I have a bad feeling, though. They win Game 3. Mm-hmm. The Cavs win Game 3. And now everybody's, we're just a game back. We'll be all right. We can win at home. We just stink on the road during the playoffs, by the way. We haven't won a playoff game on the road yet, right? And so now you're sitting here and you're going, it's 2-1, it's 2-1, it's 2-1, it's 2-1. Now they get to Game 4, and it's close. And all of a sudden, Cade Cunningham hits a buzzer beater, and now you're down 3-1.
There's not much they can do to neutralize Cade. Cade can play so much better. That's the scary thing. He's capable of putting up 40 at any point.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Can we be honest? He's kind of a likable player.
Yeah,
he's very likable.
Is. And he's been the superstar in this series.
Yeah.
You might have 2 Hall of Famers on your side. 3, actually, if you count Dennis Schroeder. They've got Cade Cunningham, and he's just flat out better than anything you got. 216-474-0092. All right, Brad in Cleveland. This one goes right to the top because I said the series is over. Do you disagree, Brad?
Yes, I disagree. Oh, my God. Come on, guys. It's down to – let me tell you something. Lima, you said it earlier. They are stinking up bad out there, especially Harden, but they're still close. And I'm going to tell you, if Harden just wakes up, the game is over. We can take this team. I'm going to tell you right now, the backcourt right now, they're working too hard. Why? Because they're putting too much on Donovan, and Harden is not really stepping up like he should. But I tell you what, if they limit his minutes a little bit, put Keon Ellis out there, let them take on Cade, I think we can handle this game. I'm telling you, I think we can win.
We can win one game. Do you really think the team you've watched play the first 2 games is going to beat Detroit 4 out of 5 times? That's my question.
Yes. Yes.
More power to you, man. More power to you. They can play great basketball.
What we're looking at, what we saw was a half effort from most of the players on our team.
All right, Brad. Thanks, but why are we talking effort? Why are we talking effort at all in the playoffs with season on the line and legacies on the line?
I mean, you're going to sit here and be happy about half effort? Half effort. It's the playoffs.
But I don't even feel good. The fact that they're in these games, I think it's more of an indictment of the Eastern Conference and the Pistons than it is the Cavs seizing control at any point. Like, do you think they've really played that well. And okay, I get it. Like Harden cannot play 37 minutes. This is not going to be a series. And maybe we're done James Harden being James Harden in the playoffs. Maybe that's just over. Maybe all the haters of James Harden that have written his obit for so many years in the playoffs, maybe they were absolutely right. Again, I thought he actually was a positive player in the last series, but we're not in the last series anymore. It's not the first series. But if he goes to the bench, all right, Keon Ellis is not a creator for anybody else. All right, Max Strus, okay, he can run a little bit of pick and roll, but you could see he has trouble ball handling against these longer teams. He can only do so much. He's not a point guard. Where else do you turn to? And that's the problem. They just don't have a lot of answers. Maybe before the year you were hoping for the Evan Mobley leap and that Evan Mobley was going to be able to control the basketball and get to spots. Do you feel very comfortable with Evan? He can't get by anybody, and he's another one that once they start putting the hands in the cookie jar, they're able to get it. They're able to take that ball from him because he's not physical enough to be able to shield these defenders from the ball. So I think you run into a lot of problems there.
Man, you got 17 points from your bench last night. That's it.
I think that's actually good for the Cavs. Like I don't know how many more you can even expect from them.
Tyson had 7. Why can't you expect someone? Well, if you go back, Strus was in double figures in game 1.
Yeah.
So you got some help from the bench there, but you're not.
Yeah, but these are role players, Andy, on the road. Are you expecting Max Strus to be consistently put up 15
Jeff
to 20?
made an argument. I thought Jeff's argument was valid to start him instead of Dean Wade yesterday. But from what you got from Strus was just 3 points.
Yeah,
so,
I don't. To me, that doesn't seem like a definitive answer to sway the series, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for something in the middle of this series that can shift everything in a tectonic way, and I'm just not. I'm not seeing it. I'm not hearing it. The body language, I'm not viewing it from these guys. And
yeah, it is kind of like a funeral. I'm feeling the viewing too.
This is the worst nightmare. This is all the fears coming to fruition. All right, we loaded them up. 216-474-0092. I want to get more of you in here. And I got to say, young John said, this is what you wanted. This was what I wanted. This was the path. And now, am I to blame? And are the Cavs, the organization, to blame for setting them on this path where they are going up against a team that they look like they can't physically dribble and chew gum against at the same time? That's straight ahead on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Hey, everybody, it's Andy Baskin for
Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Another, not a great start, for that starting group. So we know the deal here. We got to look at everything. Is there a jolt from somewhere? We just got to look at everything. We tried to change up our coverages, tried to be a little more aggressive to get our mojo going. I don't know what it is with the start of games. I mean, they came out super aggressive, of course, but it's playoffs. So obviously haven't figured that one out. Still back to the drawing board.
Just got to look at it. That's all you got to do. You got to look at it. He's got no answers. Kenny Atkinson, following the 107-97 loss. And the agonizing part is you're not just getting blown out. Like, they're giving you a reason to stay locked in and continue the hate watch because they get back into the game. And they've had chances to win both of these games. So tantalizingly close. But yet, Andy, it feels like they are so far away.
They can't turn the ball over. They put themselves in a hole early on because of the turnovers. I know they were able to kind of clean things up in the second half. I thought the third quarter was probably their best quarter in the 8 quarters that they played against them, but that doesn't matter. You don't keep score by the quarters. And he's talking about mojo. He sounds like Austin Powers. It's like, I got to find my mojo, baby. You're an NBA basketball team. Just come out.
Did you know Andy had impressions like that? That was not bad.
That's how I play.
That was not bad at all.
He is known as the Mike Myers of the fans.
Do you want to do the rest of the show in that voice? Because if not,
no.
This is just going to be a depressing drag the rest of the show. I can tell you that first. Oh, by the way, we do have some interesting Browns info and news when it comes to somebody we talked about yesterday. So might get to that, but there is a leading NFL pundit who says the Sorsby stuff is DOA, dead on arrival. But not so fast. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Now you're teasing me. Now I'm like ready to talk about Sorsby. What do you got?
But does Atkinson, do you think he has any answers whatsoever? Because he's watching the same team that we're watching. He's just got a better view at it.
It's his fault that Harden didn't get more shots? What? Are you kidding me? Like, Harden wanted to get the ball inside the paint to throw it back out so we can get a three.
Well, Harden doesn't. Harden is no threat. He is no threat to get to the basket right now.
Is anyone tired of the inside-out game?
I don't know. Atkinson looks like he's getting out-coached by the guy we called a bum 2 years ago.
So, yeah, he is.
I never called him a bum. I liked him.
I'm saying we as a collective city. I think as a city, everyone was done. They were done with it. They were time for him to move on.
It was.
And now the guy that got rid of him, and Dan Gilbert, is watching his team lose to that same guy. Kenny Atkinson looks completely outcoached, and he's looked outcoached for 2 series now.
And it's why every job is 100% on the line.
He has aged 10 years during the series, hasn't he? Even his gel isn't working as good as it used to.
I don't understand what is going on with the side of the hair. Somebody said it looks like he combs it with a leaf.
When you sit in a chair and pull on it during the game.
Well, that's possible. But at least he got out of the chair yesterday, and I knew that would make you happy. You spent 5 minutes talking about him sitting in the chair. Is there an NBA coach that sits in a chair more than... Who cares?
Yeah, I care.
Why?
I care because I think it could potentially cost him game 1, his inability to actually ride the refs. Did you see the free throw disparity in the game 1?
Oh, come on.
Now, I obviously
because
don't think...
he was sitting?
I think just showing your team that you care. Just showing your team that you have
you're saying sitting on the bench with your arms crossed means you don't care?
I don't know. Do they think Kenny Atkinson has their back when they're sitting there feuding with the officials during the game? Well, I think that stuff does matter from time to time. By the way, we said the same thing about Kevin Stefanski at times during the Brown season.
You spent 4 hours sitting every day.
I should get up off my feet, but the problem is we got the cameras locked in, so I have to stay at this level.
They're robotic, man. They follow you.
Yeah.
This is better than the stuff you use across the street when you're on TV over there.
They don't follow you.
But I don't.
They do follow you, don't they?
No, Joey has to come in and adjust them
I was told
manually.
they follow you.
So I don't think the officials.
Keith told me the thing followed me. That's how. Hey, look. Let's see if I go.
No,
I guess
not going anywhere.
No,
I don't think the officials.
I love the fact that I've completely forgot about YouTube. The first couple of weeks that we had it drove me nuts. And so I was just locked into YouTube on my side computer.
Are you reading the comments right now?
Hell no, I'm not reading those. Because I got to tell you, the majority of the people on YouTube are miserable. Majority. There are some people in there.
Andy, I feel miserable right now. I'm hosting the show. I feel miserable.
It has nothing to do with the Cavaliers.
I'm
in my basement. I got nothing to do with YouTube.
So let me ask you this. Do you think this is matchup dependent, or the Cavs just not a good enough team?
No, I think the Cavs are a good enough team. I think One, please be prepared when you start the game. Is that asking so much? Would you come to work, I don't know, without any clothes on, right? That they're playing naked in the beginning of the game. Just show up and hang on to the basketball and just survive the first quarter. That's all they have to do.
Well, it was so deflating, Andy. It was so deflating seeing the bevy of turnovers during the opening sequence. And right there and then, it's like, oh, they don't really have answers. They don't have a switch that they can just flip.
I want to say they had 3 turnovers in the first 2 minutes of the game.
4. Yeah, it was bad.
4, like
and
in
none
the
of
first
them were
4.
James Harden. So that's when you knew you were in store for another rocky ball handling game.
Why do I feel like, how many times a game do I see Evan Mobley like bend over and have to make that quick, tiny dribble to get the ball back because he just lost the ball? Harden does the same thing. It's like, God, and Mitchell has the same issue too. I've seen Mitchell do this before too. It's like, guys, you're in the playoffs. Like, why do I feel like I have to go wake them up? Someone's going to go take an ice bath and go, hey, wake up, guys.
And
Let's
I feel
go.
like the whole city has had that feeling that they can't understand why the most expensive roster in the NBA,
well, that's the problem,
by far, has to be told to give more effort. And so I think that's part of the brutal aspects of trying to watch this team. I also wonder, I've heard some people say, well, they played the 2 teams that are long, physical, and can cause problems defensively. Guys, that's the playoffs. Like, I look around, what do you think it would be against Minnesota and going up against Rudy Gobert? What do you think it would be against the San Antonio Spurs when they have like 3 dominant perimeter defenders? And oh, by the way, Wemby. So I don't think it's matchup dependent. I know John came in here going, well, you guys wanted the Knicks, or you guys wanted
the Pistons.
The Pistons. And I'm like, yeah, I did want the Pistons. And the reason I wanted the Pistons, to me, has been on display in the fourth quarter when they've been able to get back into the game. If they were playing a better team, I don't even think they'd be in the game. So I don't know. To me, I think the Pistons are actually allowing them to even hang around in these games to begin with because they're not that good.
Tell me if this is mythical or if this is somewhat factual from a fan's perspective. Last year in the playoffs, you beat Orlando, right, handily, no problem, and everybody thought the Cavs were going to Miami as Orlando.
Yeah, dominated them.
Yeah, everybody thought that they were going to dominate Indiana going into that Indiana series because of the way. But I think that we kind of didn't realize what was going on in Indiana as the season progressed, and they were getting healthier and they were playing a little bit better. And then you go into this year's playoffs, and you're like, oh, the Pistons are just like us. And then Boston gets healthy all of a sudden. You're like, oh, man, everyone, look out. Boston's going to win the East, and now we're all in trouble. And look where we are now. Detroit's doing what we wanted the Cavaliers to do last year. Let's be honest. They have a great regular season. They had a hiccup in the first round.
Well, they looked like they were going to get eliminated. They were down 20 in Game 6. That's what I mean, though. They
had a hiccup, but they figured it out.
Well, they got
came back.
Listen, they got Cade Cunningham, and it's nice.
But we had Donovan Mitchell.
And Cade Cunningham, is he not look on another level than Donovan Mitchell? Does he not?
Now he does right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's come a long way. He's made the leaps. And, you know,
Evan's not at that level for us, and that's the problem.
Not even
we
close.
sat here for years and said the Cavaliers will go as Evan goes. Now I think that you might be looking at Evan actually going somewhere else to place, because Dan's going to have to figure this thing out at the end of the year. Dan and Kobe, they're going to, if Kobe's still here.
Man, I want a camera fixated on Dan Gilbert in the front row on the baseline for the entirety of Game 3.
You think he's not irritated his team losing in Detroit too? That's not going to irritate him?
And JB. It's got to sting.
JB, yeah.
Who's done more to rebuild downtown Detroit? Yeah. And he's doing it now by giving them 2 wins at home.
Maybe it's good for his businesses. I don't know.
Thomas in Shaker. Go ahead, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, guys. Hey, by the way, Lima, I've been loving your analyst this entire postseason. And I've been loving and I really enjoy you, Andy Bass.
Why?
Thank you.
Thomas, why? I thought the Cavs were going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I've been wrong.
No, because, Lima, you're so excited about every single game every day. It just gets me excited. So I do appreciate that.
Thomas, this is the killer. I try to get the whole city because I was not feeling it from the city. I felt like the city was just taking for granted the playoffs.
Of course.
And a lot of it was because people did not believe in this team, and you are seeing now why people did not believe in this team.
We could go 82-0, and no one would care about the regular season, right?
But the thing that sucks about that is now we get to the playoffs, and I'm waiting for the team to have to earn it, and they have not earned it. They haven't. So That's why this is so tough. It's soul crushing
Well,
for me, Thomas.
This is the same guy that threatened the whole city.
My whole life has been defined by the NBA playoffs and how awesome they are. And if you guys poo-poo this, I'm going to take a baseball bat to anything the Browns or Guardians ever do again. I still am going to do that, by the way. Mark my words.
Man.
I still am going to do that because you people were sucking the joy out of my playoffs before they even started. So watch what happens.
Well, can I be positive for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Thomas. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Jared Allen, he looks like he's getting it going, and I do think they're going to win Saturday. I do think they're going to find a way to win Saturday. But I would love for them to reduce James Harden's minutes because, Andy Baskin, you do not see Santa Claus in June.
I what?
You don't see Santa Claus in June. You called James Harden Santa Claus earlier. I was listening.
Oh, no, he called him Santa Claus. That was Lima. Okay, I get it. Now I see what you're saying.
I'm saying he's giving away the gifts. That's what he's doing, and he's about the same size right now.
And you don't see Santa Claus in June.
No.
So,
I don't know. How many did you drink?
Well,
What
he's on a beach in Acapulco.
What time? Did you just hear closing time at the bar and you're stumbling? Yeah, you might see Santa Claus.
Thomas, he's been awful. He has been so bad in this series. I thought he was fine in the Toronto series. This series, he's been dreadful.
Yeah, you got to reduce his minutes. Is it possible to reduce his minutes or bench him? Is that possible? That's something blasphemy.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas.
That's not happening.
The hard part is, I bet you Kenny Atkinson is looking around going, well, if you're doing the math, the only way they're going to win the series now is if they get like 20-plus points out of James Harden. They're not going to get it anywhere else. Like, all right, maybe the role players play better at home. All right, maybe Max Strus can piece together a 5 3-pointer game. Maybe Keon Ellis.
You're missing Sam Merrill for that stuff too, right now.
Yeah, well, he was
to go out and hit a couple threes and change the trajectory of where the game was going.
Yeah, he was out warming up for the game. I thought he was just going to be lost for the series, so maybe there is some hope that he's going to be available for Game 3. But they kind of need James to, at least from a scoring standpoint, and get to the foul line. That's a hard part.
If you made the change, it'd be what, Schroeder? Give Schroeder more minutes.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on him to be a scoring presence. He's an energy guy, but he's not a...
Oh, he's aggravating. But I love the fact he's on our team, though. But it's not. We're not getting enough out of it anyway. You know what's interesting is that I thought going into this that if Kenny finds himself looking for a job at the end of the year, I thought the first place he could end up would be with the Knicks because I didn't think Mike Brown would survive. But now they're up 2-0 in the Sixers. So.
Well, they've won, what, 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
Yeah.
They're playing the best they've been all year. This is just so difficult because I never thought James Harden would have to be in this spot where he could even cost him to this level. I thought he was going to be a lower usage, off the ball, at times, maybe for a 4-minute stretch here and there. They would need to play through him. But in the end, Donovan and Mobley would be able to give them enough. And instead, it's because Mobley's not nearly good enough or reliable enough. And Donovan, whether you believe it's an injury, which I do, or you think he's just flat out not good enough.
Well, he's saying it's not an injury, though.
Either way, I think he's just not going to make the excuses during or give the opponents any edge whatsoever in knowing about. Just look at the way he's running around. Look at the way he's not fighting on defense. It's because he's worried about that hamstring. I really do. But beyond that, the fact that they have to rely on James Harden to play 37 minutes.
Are you making excuses for him? Do you really?
Well, an injury is an excuse. Yeah, I am. I mean,
here's Donovan in the postgame about the injury.
Yeah. Hey, Donovan, what were you playing through in the second half there?
Playing through?
Yeah, what were you playing through?
Nothing.
Looked like you were a little hobbled.
No.
Chris is watching the same thing I am. Chris is.
I think everybody. We saw it in a replay yesterday.
Yeah,
he hits the bucket and he's like,
he came up lame.
He's going Fred Sanford back to the bench.
If you want to call it an excuse, yeah, I am. I'm making an excuse. I think he's injured. But nobody cares. The Pistons don't care.
No,
like they're more than happy to entertain that. And what are the solutions right now because of that? You don't have Harden got picked on. I thought Harden's defense was just fine for the Toronto series. In fact, some of the games I was like, man, he's been a plus defender. Well, this series somehow he gets matched up with Cade Cunningham in the fourth quarter when the game got tight in both games. Like that just can't happen. They've got to fight through that. They cannot just pass off a switch, or they have to come with a quick double. Either way, you're being put in a brutal spot. All right, when we come back, I know we got a lot of phones, a lot of reaction about last night. Hey, did your Guardians just pull off a successful road trip? I think they did. And hey, it's not just me talking officials in the NBA playoffs. It is the most legendary Cavs player in the history of the organization. But he's on the Lakers now. They were talking officials. Their head coach was not happy about it either. That's straight ahead. In About Last Night. Plus, Daryl Ryder joins the show at 8:20. And your chance to win Cavs tickets at 9 o'clock here on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Make the right choice this month, because if you're thinking about getting a new truck, a Ram truck should be your choice. And I'm going to challenge you right now. Pull into any Northeast Ohio Ram dealer today and start one. You're going to hear the difference. That's all it's going to take. You see, I've done the side-by-side.
nothing to do with me. I mean, they moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
How it is when you win in Cleveland, man. They love you. When you lose, whew, it's the way it should be.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
That sounds really good, but I'm not 6'5", and I don't have the athletic ability to play in the NBA.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Hold on, James Harden is 6'5". Does he have the athletic ability to play in these playoffs right now? I would say no right now. That would be my assessment. Go ahead, young John.
So I think something crazy happened that doesn't usually happen on this show. I think I was right.
Whoa.
I think I was right.
Wow.
We had pundits on this show come on and say James Harden wasn't going to show up in the playoffs. I saw it firsthand in Philadelphia when they were up 3-2 to the Celtics in the second round in 2023, and he blew Game 6. They didn't even show up for Game 7. I hate to be right now because I was so much.
Oh, you sound like it. You sound like it's you're really fretting.
I hate to
this.
be right.
If I just hit this, it would move on to the next thing.
No, you know what? I thought he played well in the Toronto series. I think he was part of the reason they won the series. I know people disagreed with me, but I had a whole bunch of numbers to back. There's nothing to back up his play in the first 2 games in Detroit. He has been dreadful, and it's been. I think has it even been worse than his haters might have thought it would look?
It's bad.
Like this is unplayable. You don't belong in the NBA. Bad.
He looks like he fell off a cliff, like as a basketball player from Game 7 to Game 1.
Well, maybe one thing I should have taken into consideration. Yes, sure, the guys are longer in the regular season. They're trying harder because Harden's a fine regular season player. I mean, he is a player like he was better than Darius in the regular season. But did I take for granted that it's every other day in this series?
I look at
the every other day component is making him look, I think, older and older and older.
With all the minutes, yeah, I would admit, Menigan has been all over this too. Menigan has ripped him up and down since he got here. 6'7" is, 6'7" isn't just what the kids say; it's the games that he plays bad in series. And so, I like him. I still think he can move the ball. I want to see what he looks like at home in the next game. If he can calm down a little bit, I think he'll be all right. And now all of a sudden it's 2-1, and now you're looking at Game 4. Hopefully you can get back in this thing, but he's got to calm down. I mean, it's just got to chill. So.
Well, we did have a team in town that did win last night. The Guardians won an afternoon game 8-5. Great get-right game for this team. Stephen Kwan and J-Ram each had hits in the first inning. J-Ram also had 2 walks. And Bo Naylor, 2 hits and a home run. All starters had at least 1 hit. And Slade Ciccone, not a bad outing. 5 1/3, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks. Did have 3 walks, though. Guardians are back on track, above 500. One of just 4 American League teams with a winning record.
Yeah, it was a good trip. That first inning, it was nice to see guys getting on base the way they were, getting hits. They were able to, piece together and draw. What did they have? 8 walks in this game. So obviously, they had a good approach, good strategy for the game. And then, Ciccone. I mean, he's been by far the worst starter, and it felt like he'd been the worst starter they've had in a while. So they needed that in a big way, and so you come out and go 4 of 3 on the road, like you'll take it. You'll absolutely take it.
Ciccone's going to be fine. I like what he did last year. Again, it's just like anything else in Major League Baseball. They figure you out, and then you've got to be able to rebound. I just think that when you have guys like Carl Willis and Brad Goldberg steering the pitching on this team, that the guys will find their way. They'll figure it out, or else they're gone. It just doesn't. That's how it works, and I think Carl can fix any of these guys. That was a good win for them yesterday. It is weird though how bad things are in the American League. There were only 2 teams that were over 500 yesterday, and now all of a sudden, the A's won
4 teams,
and now we have 4.
Now there's 4. And by the way, Bo Naylor, he's raised his batting average 20 points too. 143.
Yeah, but like even Jeff Thomas was saying, I mean, I know we're only, what are we, 8 days into the month of May. He's hitting like 250-something, which is way better than what he was doing last month. This month.
Anything would be better.
Is that right, Jeff Thomas? If you're listening, yes, I think I was listening to you, Jeff Thomas. Good job. Thank you.
Loyal listener, Andy Baskin.
Yes, I am a loyal listener.
So the OKC Thunder, they defeated the Los Angeles Lakers pretty handily last night. But here's what JJ Redick.
I thought it was. Hold on, that game was competitive going into the fourth quarter.
How'd you stay up and watch that game last night?
Andy, it's the playoffs. This is all I have.
Wow, look at this.
It's called boozy.
This is all I have.
I thought you had kids.
Yeah, they were asleep. by the time I got home, which was nice.
Are they doing Rent-A-Dad or something? I don't know how you do this. Wow.
Hey, I'll be up. The thing is, on the weekend, I will be up 5:30, both mornings. I don't even have a radio show. I will be up. Go ahead, Jeff.
But J.J. Redick, after the game, was talking about OKC getting all the fouls, and he was complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I sarcastically said the other day they were the most disruptive team without fouling. They have a few guys that foul on every possession, and all the good defenses do. You know, SGA gets like a touch foul, I guess, on the drive. There was a stretch where 4 straight possessions, our guys got absolutely clobbered, trying to make an entry pass to Jackson, and Jalen Williams is grabbing his jersey with both arms. They're hard enough to play. You've got to be able to just call it if they foul, and they do foul.
Now, that's
a fine. He's gonna get fined.
So this is the setting of the tone that I think would have been nice to hear from Kenny Atkinson after the first game. Not saying it would have made a huge difference in the series or whatever, because it looks like the Cavs are going to lose the series regardless. But that is a coach who's like, yeah, I don't care if I'm getting fined. I'm going to make it a national conversation about a team that is known for their fouling, and they certainly are. By the way, the team that I think fouled the most this year in the NBA, Detroit Pistons, in the regular season.
I have trouble listening to any team. I mean, LeBron got, especially early on in his career, LeBron got destroyed every time he took the ball to the hole. You could feel the pain sometimes when LeBron was getting hit and smacked and punched and going to the hole. But LeBron, it was interesting to watch that conversation with the referees yesterday. Did you see it?
Yeah, at the end of the game, they basically had a huddle with the officials.
And LeBron didn't have much to say. He kind of stepped back in the huddle, which, LeBron has been the beneficiary of plenty of calls throughout his career.
This is a problem. So. Oklahoma City, this is something that they're getting tagged with. So they look like they are going to go back-to-back and win championships. And the way things work in the NBA is we just devour the great teams with criticism. That's all we do. We devour the great players with criticism. Like Joel Embiid's a Hall of Famer, James Harden's a Hall of Famer, and all we do is kill them. And now Oklahoma City is going to go back-to-back and win championships, and all people are going to talk about is the officiating.
Because you have to have good guys and bad guys to entertain people. This is, Star Wars, right? Every spaghetti Western.
It's just funny when
you have to have good guys and bad guys.
In the NFL, when you win the Super Bowl, like Seattle, they become the darling. We don't do that in the NBA. We kill the teams that win in the NBA.
Jealousy.
Golden Tempo, the winner of the Kentucky Derby, drops out of the Preakness Stakes.
Did you put this in for Munkin? Did Todd Munkin tell you to put this story in?
This is horse racing is taking the worst part of basketball. We have load management for horses now. What is happening? The ratings for the Preakness are absolutely going to tank because this one horse is not going to be.
Now, wait, what happened? He
just dropped out? Injury.
Didn't go to the glue factory, right?
No.
Still alive.
No, he's still alive.
Oh, bro.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about
Reckless
this.
speculation.
That's right. It's just I'm not associated with Lima.
We're not going to find the head of Golden Tempo in a bed with a
ugly
reckless speculation
with a movie executive.
Every time you say it, I think you're about to say Golden Tate which makes it
I'm just making sure. I don't know a lot about this sport. So does this mean the ratings will absolutely plummet because
Not
there's
the
no
Preakness
triple crown threat?
The Kentucky Derby is an event. The Preakness is only people care is this horse going to win? And then nobody cares about the Belmont.
So wait, they don't do 9 hours of pregame and get John Fanta interviewing drunks on the infield?
That was a classic interview.
Yeah, heck yeah.
The mayor of the infield.
I think the mayor of the infield had as much to drink that day as I did yesterday. All right, John, thank you. That was about last night. We've got your chance to win Cavs tickets coming up 9 o'clock in a national perspective with Justin Termin. And in about 25 minutes, Daryl Ryder, our Browns beat reporter, get us ready for rookie minicamp and get his thoughts on the Cavaliers and their dreadful start to the series. That plus, we'll hear from Kenny Atkinson. Does he have any answers? Where do the Cavs go from here? It's Lima and Baskin in for Ken Carman on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. Well, real estate market.
92.3 The Fan. Listen to The Fan Rewind weeknights 11 to midnight. All the best segments from all our shows, and you can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Get primed for the Cavs playoffs on your ride home. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan.
Well, it looked like young John is being corrected by the boss about the horse racing controversy.
Yes.
Maybe we'll speak to that a little bit later in the show. We'll get back to the Cavs here in a second as well because they're down 2-0. And we've got Daryl Ryder joining us at 8:20. Chance to win Cavs tickets at 9 and Justin Termin. So loaded show for you. We're debating whether or not coming in hot will transpire today. Baskin said we've got to do it.
You got to do it. It's my fix from quick predicts during the regular season during the Browns. So we don't do it. It goes on hiatus.
We will mull it over.
Not playing. I enjoy. Your listeners do a fantastic job.
And it's a totally different segment, so you can't
totally
bring
different.
your quick predict stuff in.
Oh, I can't?
Let's start
totally
practicing.
Different.
I actually think it's
nothing the same at all.
If I could redo it, I would do it more like quick predicts. I'll be honest with you. I think it's very well done. It's well produced. I think you have excellent callers on that, and I think you have people that are unbelievably creative that give you good stuff on Fridays.
All right. Well, speaking of creativity, I thought maybe the Browns were going to get creative in pursuing a quarterback that could have very well been in the first round in next year's loaded NFL draft by way of the supplemental draft. If you've followed the story of Brendan Sorsby, who is potentially going to be in the supplemental draft because he is out of the NCAA and Texas Tech because of a big-time gambling scandal. In fact, news coming down yesterday that, and this is the New York Times, that he's under investigation by Ohio State gambling officials. The Ohio Casino Control Commission confirmed to The Athletic and the New York Times on Thursday. So, people are already jumping to conclusions. Does this mean he was on the take? If you look at last year, the last 4 or 5 games, he was pretty bad after getting off to a sensational start.
I think you got to clarify that. I know it just sounded like you're making it sound like it was Ohio State.
The Ohio State
Gambling Commission. Yeah,
that is what that office is called.
Because he played at Cincinnati.
Yes.
That's why. Okay, that's why I think.
He played at Cincinnati. So Peter Schrager says you guys should probably stop talking about it in Cleveland at all based on what he had to say yesterday on ESPN.
There will be interest in him in the supplemental draft. We don't see the supplemental draft utilized too often, especially for a quarterback. There will be interest. As far as the Browns go, I would take the meme of the dog with the laser, just like looking at that's Browns fans. Anytime a quarterback that can even throw a ball, that's how they act as far as that is. I'm told Browns right now, Sorsby's name has not been in the conversation. Rather, they're focused on what they have in-house at the moment. And that is a Deshaun Watson revival. That is a Shedeur Sanders. Can you do it again? Can you get back on the field and can you win this job? And they are so ecstatic about their draft that they had this last couple of weeks that the Browns, I don't know if Sorsby being dropped into it is an actual legitimate thing right now. We'll see. To Tone Diggs' point, the NFL is going to have a say in this as well. But a fascinating, unprecedented topic now in the NIL era, especially in this whole gambling, pro-gambling world that we live in.
Yeah, he could also enter the league suspended. We were going over some of those examples.
Think about this.
Yesterday,
Jim Tressel was suspended.
I brought that up. Yeah,
as a video coordinator for the Colts. So can the Browns just please stay away from this? Please, can we just move forward? And if you're going to draft a quarterback next year, just do that instead. I'm so tired of having drama around the quarterback position. I mean, what do you want? Johnny Manziel, drama, right? Baker Mayfield became drama at the end. Deshaun Watson, how many lawsuits do we have to look at before he can actually play, be suspended? And then last year, not drafting one quarterback, but drafting 2 quarterbacks. So even if Sorsby had everything going for him, you're going to bring him in here now, and you're going to be looking at 3-4 quarterbacks, all with less than a year's experience, if you were going to do that. First of all, I don't think the league is going to allow him to even be in the supplemental draft if he's under investigation.
Yeah, that is the question, and it's very unclear.
The league's not going to let it. So that's why I think this story is almost borderline ridiculous, and I'm just praying that the Browns stay out of the drama game. And by the way, we were talking about how good is Sorsby anyway. He was ranked 10th on some list that he was talking about.
Paid. Now listen, Texas Tech was going to give him $5 million. He's going to be one of the highest paid players in all of college football. So they obviously scouted him and thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, but what does that make him as far as an NFL prospect? That's the other question.
He was, I've heard some people say, had he been in the draft this year, he might have been late second, but we know how the inflation works with quarterbacks. Like if they talk about you as a late second pick, you're on the fringes of being a first round pick, and that's this year. What would he have been next year on a team that's supposed to be pretty loaded at Texas Tech, a very expensive team?
Can we just avoid the drama? Can
I tell you? So a couple things here. Peter Schrager saying he has been told that this is a non-factor with the Browns. Do you know how the supplemental draft works?
Yeah.
The bidding process?
Yeah, it's a bid.
Right.
And then it goes back to last year's draft. So any of the teams that were ahead of us last year would have the opportunity. So let's say we put in a bid and, I don't know, name a random team. The Jets. Vegas Jets, Giants, any one of them. If we said he's a 7th rounder and we're willing to bid our 7th rounder for next year's draft, if any one of those 6 teams ahead of us or 5 teams ahead of us
put a bid in,
they would get him. Yeah.
So I don't want to sound crazy here, but given that is the process for this, wouldn't you want to leak out that you have if you did want him, wouldn't you want to leak out that you have no interest whatsoever because you don't want to overbid any higher than you have to and you don't want other teams to know that you're interested?
The Browns finally...
Wouldn't it behoove you to say, I have no interest in this guy whatsoever, and then when it's time to put a bid in, try to steal him at a round that would be an incredible value judgment?
For what?
Because you have a chance to get somebody who could very well be in the first round next year.
Come on. He's not selling jerseys. There's no reason to do it. Can you hang tight here? I'd rather see Sanders.
It's not an auction either. It's a bid process.
Right.
You get one chance at it.
Yes.
You don't get to go, I'm a 3rd. Well, I'm a 2nd. Now I'm a 1st.
No, but what I mean
is one time.
What I mean is if other teams didn't think the Browns were a threat, that they may lowball on the round. They might say 3rd round because we don't think the competition is there.
And you think you're missing out if another team takes them 3rd round?
Well, you could get them in the 2nd round is what I'm saying, and you win. It could be a team that is worse than you.
I think you have to evaluate what you're willing to give up for him and be okay with the result that if you don't get what you're willing to give up and someone else does, then he plays for that team now.
So do you think, though, that Andrew Berry could be seeing this as incredible value? You don't have to tank for your quarterback, so you don't have to put an intentional losing product on the field come November. You can actually still try to win games. You don't just have to go young for the sake of going young, which tanking teams do.
What's that round number to you?
Well, I think this guy could easily have been a first-round pick next year.
Okay, so what's the round number for you?
If you get him in the 2nd round now and you don't have to tank for it, isn't that huge value?
Why would you do that when you have, 3 4th-round picks? Why wouldn't you use one of your 4th-round picks?
Well, then you might not get him. You're trying to get him.
I don't care if you don't get him at this point.
No, you don't care.
I mean, do you seriously want a guy that's going to step out on the field?
Hold on, you don't care.
Hang on a second. No, if he steps out on the field and throws an interception, you're like, I wonder how much money he had on this game.
You don't do that. You don't do it. God, man, you don't hang out with my friends. They think every player. They think every player is doing that every time.
Friends, though, Anthony.
Yeah, you do.
That is true. They do accuse a lot of players being on the take, including some of the nicest guys in the league. All I'm saying is, from a value proposition standpoint, and Andrew Berry is all about value, right? He's all about exploiting market inefficiencies. Well, here you have a guy in next year's loaded draft, could be a first-round pick next year. And you can get him now this year without having to tank. I mean, and then he could sit. There'd be he could be suspended. There's no pressure to play him right away. You can. I mean, obviously they'd probably trade Shedeur in that case. So you wouldn't have you wouldn't have the legions of Shedeur fans calling your coach all sorts of names because he's not playing them. So you remedy that, and then you get through the season with Deshaun Watson, and it's over. You wash your hands of that, and then you got your starting quarterback next year, and you didn't even have to tank. I'm just saying.
Why again?
I think I laid out a pretty good case.
I said this yesterday. If you want to put your hand on the oven and burn your hand, that's great. You know how to do that. You did that with Johnny Manziel. Then you put a second hand on there with the way things went down with Baker Mayfield.
Brandon Whedon seemed like a nice enough guy. How'd that work out for him?
Just get naked and sit on the stove.
Brady Quinn seemed like a nice guy. How'd that work out for him? I mean, in the end, you got to fix the position. You'll do whatever it takes.
I mean, you look at Shedeur Sanders from last year. You look at Gabriel. Like, why the hell did you draft 2 quarterbacks? You're just asking. If they would have just drafted Shedeur and no one else, The drama we have would be minimal.
Let me ask you this.
Minimal. Why do you continue why do you put your head inside the fireplace over and over and over again?
So
stop.
What is a worse situation off the field when it comes to baggage? Is it what Deshaun Watson was accused of, or is it this situation?
It's this situation because it's gambling.
Okay.
And if we're talking about him betting on it against his team,
a lot of these guys gamble, right? Come on, let's not be stupid.
What color is his dot? Is he an orange dot guy?
Yeah,
because they made it pretty clear to us that they were looking for orange dot.
What if
guys.
he's a high character guy that has had a gambling problem in the past?
Well, then that's not high character.
Two words. You know it better than anybody else. Arch Schleister.
Okay, come on. We're talking to a lot of guys right now. They're listening on the radio who they know for a fact their kids have wagered on a game before. Does that make their kids bad kids?
On their own game?
No, I'm just saying in general, sports games, sports gambling.
No. There's a difference.
We can't act naive here.
There's a difference. What? You're going to put $2 down on a horse racing bet?
Well, he said so. Remember, they said he's made thousands of bets, and most of them were in the single-digit category. Right? They're trying to establish whether or not he has actually bet against his team. Okay, well, listen, by all means, you got to have the investigation and figure out what he did and what he didn't do. Right now, he's a kid who's in rehab. And do you believe gambling can be a sickness?
Of course it's a sickness.
He's going to get treatment for it. But does that make him a bad character guy? Compared to the players who've had domestic assault situations, I'm just trying to establish how fans feel about this, because this is going to be coming up. This is not just going to be a Sorsby thing. You are going to have.
I don't think you're trying to establish anything right now. I think you're trying to talk down to everybody about this. Right now.
I'm asking. You're right. I'm asking how, because as society, we all have to figure out how we feel about. Hold on, Andy. We are all trying to figure out how we are getting our arms around this. Gambling's not a new phenomenon, but the accessibility to it. The fact that the states have said, we need the money so bad that we're going to make it ubiquitous. And so we throw out a gambling hotline at the end of all of our reads. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. How do we feel about this societally? Are you a bad character kid if you have been gambling on sports?
It depends on every situation is different.
They're doing the investigation.
Yeah, so they'll investigate and we'll see where we're going here. I mean, it's not like, and by the way, why are we ripping this? You're ripping yourself. You realize that, because what's happened is for years we've had gambling and we've reaped no benefit from a business. Gambling is a business. Yeah. That's what it is. And so now the great people of the state of Ohio decided, you know what? People are going to gamble. We get it. Why don't we get money back on taxes for that? Why is gambling not taxed the way we do other businesses? The people of the state of Ohio said, and by the way, the people is you. It's you, Anthony Lima, right? You said, okay, we can have gambling in the state of Ohio. So now we can get some of the benefits from that by taxing it. That's all there is to it.
Anthony, you asked if he's a bad character kid because he places bets. It's not the fact that he places bets. It's the fact that he knows the rules and he breaks the rules. That's what makes him a bad character.
And so here's the
it's not as
thing,
bad, and you can't put that in the same spectrum as the domestic violence stuff. That's also bad character. I'm not saying that those, but they aren't exclusive to each other.
I agree. So I totally agree with you.
When you choose to take a position for a professional or college sports team, you say, I'm giving up my right to gamble on certain things. If you work for the Cavaliers, you can't gamble on NBA. You can't gamble on AHL. You can't gamble on a number of things. And when you sign the paper to say you want to work there, you're giving up your right to gamble because it's not right.
So when he stepped on campus, okay, what was he, 18, 19 years old, right? And he's being accused that first year of doing that. Hey, Baker Mayfield got arrested when he was 19 years old. Like,
didn't he have that goofy?
I'm just saying bad judgment, right?
Yeah, bad
judgment. So bad judgment. Yeah. So could it be?
That's a character issue.
It's a character issue. So would you be willing? They obviously overlook that. He was able to overcome that. Can this kid overcome the gambling?
They've looked over murder. I mean, come on.
So you're saying yes, they can. They can.
Of course, they'll overlook it. But I'm just saying the Browns don't need to get involved in this. That's what I'm saying. The Browns could, for once, can we back off on a drama situation? There you go.
You'd be okay.
You killed me.
Yeah, you could be. Yeah. You'd be okay if the Steelers ended up with him. If he ends up being really good.
No, because I want Will Howard to start. So.
Oh, okay. Not Drew Aller?
No. Oh man, I'm still torn. Yes, I forgot about that. Oh,
all right,
man.
Evan, real quick.
Can
Evan,
we get both those guys out of there, please?
Evan, we've got Daryl Ryder coming up next segment. Evan in Lyndhurst, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, I would start Strus or Tyson, and then I would play a lot more Schroeder with Harden or Mitchell. Those two together aren't working so far. Okay. The Sorsby take is you were trying to come up with a sickness comparison.
Yeah.
Gambling addiction is a sickness.
Yes.
But this guy's got leukemia, and he's about to undergo radiation for a year. I mean, maybe he comes back in, December, but, and then he might have leukemia come back again. I mean, I don't want to kill the kid because we're all gambling. I put a couple bucks on the Cavs, but
you don't work for the Cavs. That's the thing.
That's a
you
real
don't-
sickness if you bet on the
that.
Cavs yesterday.
Yeah, right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you for the call. All right, we'll leave that there, and then we'll bring it back up with Daryl Ryder. We'll ask him 216-474-9992, and of course, we'll get back into the Cavs. I think the series is over. Andy is still giving them a fighting chance.
I'm giving them breath.
Okay.
They're on life support.
Life support.
Yeah.
All right. Well, can they snap out of it, or they can pull the plug on the Cavs season? That's all straight ahead with Daryl Ryder next on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Headline sports news every 20 minutes from the University Hospital's sports desk. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Daryl Ryder, as always, brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Our Browns beat reporter, who's also, over the span of the year, double duty. He's been covering the Cavs. I know you've been a little under the weather, Daryl, but I know you were locked in. And we'll get to the Browns in just a second as rookie minicamp gets underway. They're down 2-0. Is it as simple as James Harden is awful, or do you have bigger issues with our wine and gold right now?
Well, 2 of the 5 stars on this team don't play defense. That's James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. That's a problem.
Is that bad? Is that a red flag?
That's not great. Not in the playoffs. And so when you have that, when you're not making open looks either, that's a pretty deadly combination. So the Cavs are in tough shape. I don't know that a change of venue is all of a sudden going to change things for this basketball team. For all the belly aching they do about the narrative that surrounds them, I don't know, maybe try and do something about said narrative.
Come on, Andy, give him some positivity. Let's go.
No, Daryl, first of all, I know you're under the weather, and I know you're a little bit nauseous. Is it an actual sickness, or were you just watching the Cavs?
He said violently ill.
Yeah.
I talked to him on the phone, and we were talking about the show the next day, and then Daryl, a half hour later, violently ill. I was worried for you. We sent our prayers from the Lima family, Daryl.
Well, they didn't work. How about that?
So I started a GoFundMe.
So
I was worried
so
about
watch
you.
it.
So thanks for nothing, Lima.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Come on, Andy.
All right,
Positivity. Andy says we can still win the series.
No, they have a 7%.
You think they're winning
chance.
4 of the next 5?
No, and Lima makes stuff up. You know that.
said they had a chance.
No, now I get the whole slippery wizard thing. No, of course they have a chance. Are they dead? No. Can they win 2 games at home? Yes. The problem I'm having, Daryl, is they haven't been ready either game right out of the gate.
They haven't.
It's ill-prepared. Is that on the coaches? Is that on the players? Is that on just nerves? I don't know. You tell me. I'm watching this professional basketball team look horrendous in the first quarter of both of these games. And last night, it cost them in the end that they had to do all the work to come back in this. They played a really good third quarter, but you spend all that energy trying to come back. We all know what happens in the NBA.
Yeah, I think at some point the players have to take accountability. It's easy to pin this all on Kenny Atkinson. And by the way, if they lose this series, he's probably getting fired. And who knows what happens to the rest of this basketball team.
It's too bad because I wanted him to get the next job if he's not going to be here. But now Mike Brown's up 2-0 in that series. So.
I know. Former Cavs coach is doing very well in the postseason right now.
Come on.
They're doing a lot better than current Cavs coaches, I'll say that.
You're twisting the knife further and further. It's not going to make any Cavs fans feel any better, Daryl.
Listen, you know what? I'd love to sit here and be Mr. Positive and make Cavs fan feel better, but I have no evidence to support my argument. I saw a stat where James Harden gave up 7 for 7 on defense in the fourth quarter last night. He had, yet again, another playoff game in which he had more turnovers than field goals made. Look, I have to mea culpa here. I was dead wrong. I was so excited about the James Harden trade. I thought that would be a move that could get them over the top. And then I guess I have to realize that maybe a guy who has had very little success in the playoffs maybe is not the guy to fix a team who is struggling to have success in the playoffs. So that's on me. I was very positive earlier this year. I'm not very positive right now. There's nothing to be positive about with this basketball team. Evan Mobley looks like a shadow of himself. I don't know if Kenny's got him playing out of position or whatever. I know every time I see him shoot a three-pointer, I want to throw something at the television. I get that this is the modern NBA. I hate my guys that are almost 7 feet tall shooting three-pointers. That's just me. I like the 7-foot guys close to the basket. Again, that's just me. I'm a little old school when it comes to my basketball. But, Donovan Mitchell, I don't know if he's hurt. He hasn't looked the same since Game 3 against Toronto. And I don't want to speculate on anything, but something's off with Donovan right now as well. He just doesn't look like the same player. And if I'm Dan Gilbert, who's going to spend $400 million on this team this year, and they're looking at another second-round exit, the peak for this iteration of Kobe Altman's post-LeBron 2.0 rebuild is 5 playoff wins, and that's about it. That's a problem. And, you're talking about Donovan Mitchell getting a potential salary escalation this offseason with a contract extension. James Harden opting out of his, player option to get a bigger payday. Like, I don't know. What have you seen from either one of those guys that warrants north of $60 million a year salary for either one of them?
Well, it'd be 70. No, it would be 70 for Donovan Mitchell.
That's even worse.
That's kind of the world you're living in. And so when you make that trade to, take on James Harden at 37, and presumably it was to sign him to a 2-year deal because he has a player option, I think, next year for $45 million. The whole point was you were doing it because Donovan signed off on it, maybe even pushed for it. But, man, if the last series and a half hasn't changed your view on that, it creates a lot of just worse options going forward.
Maybe the stars shouldn't be dictating your roster. I think that's an epidemic in the NBA where you have star players dictating the roster, and then they don't end in results. And then where's the accountability for that, right? I watched a video clip the other night. It was, I think, from a few years ago. A commentator was going off on James Harden, talking about all the changes that were made at his behest and on his behalf, and yet he's failing to deliver in the biggest moments. And at some point, your players have to be accountable. Kenny Atkinson can't go out there and run the sets. Kenny Atkinson can't go out there and play defense and fight through screens and things like that. There was one clip that went viral on social media last night where Donovan, I think it was Dean Wade, just had the look of exasperation because Donovan Mitchell didn't even bother to fight through a screen. Like, that's effort, okay? And then the other thing, too, is why are we load managing guys? Unless they're hurt. And again, I don't know what's going on with Donovan. Donovan needs to be playing 40 minutes a game. James Harden probably needs to be playing 20 minutes a game right now with the way he's playing. You should not be load managing players in the playoffs. That's the way she goes this time of year. That's why you do your load management during the regular season, so you can extend the minutes as needed in the postseason. And Donovan's needed on the floor, for longer stretches. He should not sit a single minute of the fourth quarter in any playoff game. And I don't understand why he's sitting for significant stretches in the fourth quarter of playoff games right now.
Rookie minicamp getting underway at Berea. Your thoughts on that? And what do we really learn at rookie minicamp? And by the way, listen.
Casey Concepcion and can Devin catch footballs on air with no defenders on them? That's what we're going to learn today.
I like the chances. I think they're going to look good.
We'll have a little timeline cleanse today. We'll have some Devin Boston and some Casey Concepcion video. Maybe we'll get some Spencer Fano on the blocking dummies today too, right? That'll be our.
Daryl, can we pump the brakes on this being the world's greatest draft? I mean, okay, look, on paper it sounds great, right? Everything sounds great, but I'm so tired
of Mr. Negative Nelly.
Yeah, he's not going to allow us to have any sunshine whatsoever.
I know.
Just can we
the
wait?
No fun. Yeah, how did you get stuck with the no fun police today, Lima?
This is This is on the Cavs. This is what happens.
Listen, all right. Look, I'm very excited about this class they brought in. I'm down with it, but I'm tired of it's an A. It's the greatest class in the history of Browns.
Dude, if McNeil Warren has an interception today, you're going to hear all about it.
By the way, are you going to start doing? Are you going to do reps for quarterbacks?
No.
Did they bring in another quarterback? Do they have another quarterback? Do they have a fifth quarterback? Because if you got the two veterans aren't there, right, you need a fourth. No, whatever.
I'm sure they'll have someone on a tryout basis.
They got to bring somebody in, don't they?
Yeah, they'll probably have a tryout.
So will you do a snap count on Taylor Green? That's my question.
No,
do we know? Are you going to count the snaps that he has? Are you going to give us percentages? Are you going to tell us that he was, 12 for 12 in passing under 5 yards? Can you please give us the stats? Because otherwise, it doesn't matter. This camp doesn't exist.
I'm here to tell you of the things that I do not care about. it's quarterback completion percentage in a rookie minicamp or in an OTA.
Daryl,
you don't care, but
pass up
someone
the
else
content.
will. Someone else will, and it'll be the headline.
And you know what? Hat tip to them. God bless them.
All right, Daryl, we got into a heated debate about Brendan Sorsby, and not even about his abilities to throw a football or how good he is. It was about
a little bit of a problem child.
Well, it's whether or not, and that's what I wanted to get to, whether or not somebody who right now is under investigation by gambling officials in the state of Ohio and the Ohio Casino Control Commission, and they were confirming that with the New York Times yesterday. So he's going to potentially be available in a supplemental draft. And if that happens, do the Browns have to consider this as a potential solution, as a guy who might have been in the first round next year in that loaded draft?
I would not, because I think you're playing with fire there. I understand the talent, the physical tools, all that, but I think that there's just too much there and too much risk. I'm seeing folks saying, that teams will bid a second-round pick on him, which I think is absolutely crazy. Remember, the last time the Browns went into a supplemental draft, I believe it was Josh Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
actually, they're pretty good at supplemental draft. Gordon and
that
Bernie.
Kosar dude, the quarterback.
Yeah,
that kid from Boardman.
And look, Josh, when he was available to play, was I think the most gifted wide receiver I've seen in person. I think that where there are, I think it's too much off the field stuff to contend with, and I don't know if he's under investigation. Obviously, under investigation does not mean guilt. That's very important to point out. But I think that there's too many red flags there to take that type of risk at that type of position. If he played another position, if he was a receiver or something else, I would probably consider it more. But because of the importance of the quarterback position and, I don't know, the availability of said player at said position, I don't know that the Browns can afford to take that type of risk with a future draft pick, especially a future high draft pick, when you have a quarterback class that's expected to be coming out in 2027.
Daryl, this was just a really fun time.
Get off the Ipecac.
This is that's a good reference. All right, Daryl, thank you very much. We look forward to maybe seeing you at the Cavs game if you recover coming up tomorrow.
I'm
Godspeed, Daryl Ryder.
I'm loading
Godspeed.
up on all the vitamins and minerals I can.
All right, Daryl Ryder joining us, as always, brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Baskin is in for Ken Carman. Don't forget, we've got Justin Termin in about 23 minutes, a national perspective. I don't think it'll be very good on the state of affairs for the Cavaliers, and also your chance to win Cavs tickets, and you can possibly join us and be in the arena for Game 3, maybe provide some of that home court advantage they desperately need. What did Donovan Mitchell say about his health? That's straight ahead on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. XT.
go back and watch the film, but just my initial response is just they countered, and they hit, and they did what they're supposed to do. They won 2 at home. I think the biggest thing starts with just it's self-inflicted. I mean, I feel like it's turnovers. I mean, we won the possession game in a sense, but just like the way we started, I think hasn't been great. And we got to figure that out. I think the turnovers, the little things, little details on a lot of the stuff is self-inflicted, but when we get home, we'll clean that up and go from there.
The timely buckets. It feels like the Cavs have not been arriving to the arena on time. They've gotten outscored in the first quarter of Game 1 and Game 2, 62-39. So that is a drubbing. And really, the rest of the series, they've won. The second, third, fourth quarters, if you add them up, they've outscored the Pistons. The problem, obviously, those grisly start to the games. And I don't think, and Andy Baskin is in for Ken Carman, and we've got tickets and Justin Termin at 9 o'clock. I don't think it's just change the starting lineup and that fixes your issue. I think you're in agreement with me that it's more than just the personnel to start these games. Like the casual nature that they come out and play. Maybe you could make the argument that if Jalen Tyson came in, that would cut down on some of that casual nature because he's not casual, right? Like he's going to get up in guys' faces. He might not, you don't know where he's dribbling, but he'll go ahead. He'll go straight. He'll maybe weave around a little bit. Like right now, they are slow walking that ball up the court. They don't get back after misses. Forget the turnovers. They didn't even get back during that sequence where they did turn it over 3 or 4 times. They also gave up a layup just not getting back after a missed shot.
Nope.
It's the playoffs.
It's a breakaway. Yeah.
It's the playoffs. That absolutely cannot happen.
No, I'm with you. I've been saying this for the last, I don't know, what time did you start? 6 o'clock in the morning? Or what time did you start? 4 o'clock in the morning when we got here? That you can't walk into a playoff game, especially on the road, not ready. They didn't look ready the last 2 days. I don't know if that's a byproduct of not having 5 days off. Like maybe, although the Toronto series didn't look that good either. So they had, 5 days off before they played Toronto. This is win, day off, play. Day off, play. Day off, play. The schedule might be just grinding them into the ground that they're not ready to start this game. Are they really too old? Like I could see people saying Harden's too old.
Harden looks significantly older than he did 2 weeks ago.
You know what he should do? He should shave the beard, come back.
Boy, that would be something. You want to talk about a story? And now they may say that's a desperation. I'm ready for some desperation. Can you imagine if he came back beardless?
Wouldn't that be cool?
How would he look? I couldn't fathom how he looked.
Would you not? I wouldn't know who he was if he took off his beard.
He has not looked. Okay, you can say what you want about his playoff resume and big games and all that. Okay, we've been through that to death. The one thing James Harden has always been able to do is against teams of similar talent, whatever. He's had monstrous playoff performances.
For sure.
Right now, he looks incapable. He looks incapable of even doing what he did against Toronto.
Overworked with no answer. That's what the problem is. You know, he'll get inside the paint. He'll start to drive, take it around the outside, bring it on in, and boom. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, tiny dribbles. Can't hang on the ball. Nope, turnover. We're watching it over and over
He's
and
praying
over
for
again.
a foul. Basically, Detroit knows this. He cannot get to the basket.
Is it really
Detroit? He can get about 5 feet away from the basket. He can't get to the basket. And they know that.
He did a nice job of drawing fouls in the first half. I mean, there are some things you can give him credit for. The team itself doesn't seem ready when these games start, these last 2 games at all.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you only score 97 points, you're not winning. You're not winning in the playoffs if you can't get to 100. I don't care who you are. You're just not.
Right, I want to take this call here. All Cavs Conversations brought to you by Surfside Hard Ice Tea. Let's go to Sean in Columbus. Next up on the Fan.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
What's up?
I just kind of want to go on a little rant, man. Like, James Harden, just absolutely pathetic. And our superstar down the stretch, Donovan Mitchell, just is not performing.
31 points?
In the free throw line. What was that?
He had 31 points last night. But he didn't hit threes when we needed him too late. I'm with you on that. He didn't perform when we needed him to perform, I guess. Is probably
and
the
that's
right
all
answer.
I'm saying. Down the stretch, he does that little move he always does, and then just throws up a brick every single time. And our big men, too, like, they just play soft as butter. They play like they're 4'4", 190 pounds. Like, they just don't know what they're doing out there. The entire team does not know what they're doing. And Kenny, I don't even know what to say about him either. It's just a bad performance, pathetic performance. Everyone's is just very disappointing this playoffs.
Do you think it would have mattered had they not have made the Harden trade?
it's hard to say because I don't know if Garland would even be out there.
Yeah.
Would that be better? Would that be worse? I have no idea. But he just doesn't look like James Harden at all. And maybe that comes with age. But like you said, Lima earlier this week, he can't get past Duncan Robinson.
No.
That's pathetic.
That's rough. All right. Thank you, Sean. I
don't think Jared Allen earned the soft tag last night. And I think Jared Allen's walked away from that a little bit.
Well, Allen, it's interesting. He played 31 minutes, and obviously in this game, he was nowhere near the type of foul trouble he was. I know he finished with 5 fouls, but he was not inundated.
Finished with 4. He had 2 to give in game 1.
Yeah, so I think in this case, like maybe you'd like to see Allen play more. The problem is with both him and Mobley and then Mobley ended up with 1 rebound last night. Took 10 shots to score 9 points. That's terrible for a big man who finishes 60%. Had a stretch of basketball where he had shot 60% after the All-Star break. The problem is, and this is very antiquated, the way the NBA is today, you're playing 2 big men, right? So you're taking the risk of playing 2, quote, centers. Neither of them are pick and pop. They're not a threat. So teams can guard them so much easier than, say, Karl Anthony Towns, you have to guard 35 feet from the basket, which provides spacing. Even Wembanyama, I know his shooting percentages aren't great, but you have to guard him at the 3-point line. You don't have to really guard Evan Mobley or Jared Allen because they're not jump shooters. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it constricts a lot of their spacing, and then there goes your ability to have a free-flowing offense, and so they got to go iso ball. And when Donovan, to me, looks like he came up lame a few times last night, and James Harden looks like he's 80 years old, what's the offense? Where's the offense supposed to come from? So we'll find out. Justin Termin joins us coming up in just about 7 minutes, plus a chance to win Cavs tickets. I know it's been negative this morning. I know Daryl came on. We all sat here, had a pity party. I can tell you this. I'm going to be at that Cavs game tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were giving them away.
I'm not giving away.
At the show, you said you were like,
I'm not giving away my tickets.
I think can we replay that? I don't even think I'm going.
I think I'll go.
I don't even think I'm going.
Because then
I'll take
I remember
tickets.
I got 2 screaming kids, toddlers at home. I'm going to go. I'm going to be there. Can they win us over? We'll find out. Your chance to win Cavs tickets coming up in just about 7 minutes here on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
just walk into Detroit in an opposing arena and just walk into the first quarter like, here we go. Let's see if we can do anything. It's just not even a playoff series. It's like any given night. I feel like I'm watching the Cavs play the Detroit Pistons in November.
Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Cavs tickets, Game 3. Could you be the help that the Cavs need to turn this series around, give them an adequate home court advantage? Coming up with the 3 o'clock tip tomorrow, Rocket Arena. Be caller number 3, since that's what the Cavs were unable to hit in the fourth quarter yesterday. Were they 0 for 11?
Well, at least it wasn't the number of rebounds that Evan Mobley had.
No, he had 1. So we're going with 3. 216-474-0092. Be the third caller. Win a pair of tickets to see your Cavaliers take on Detroit. Game 3 action Saturday, May 9th at 3 p.m. Rocket Arena. Tickets available. Cavs.com. It's all from the Cavs and Sports Radio 92.3. The Fan. Baskin is in for Ken Carman, who's still on the high seas. He got totally burnt.
Oh, really?
Totally burnt. It's like every time he goes on vacation, he forgets how to vacation. And that sunshine thing, it's going to be hot. We'll have him talk about it, chronicle his adventures next week. So, Termin, you've been spared. Justin Termin appearing on the Weishart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline, host of the NBA Today on Sirius XM. Justin, I hate having you under these circumstances. The Cavaliers look absolutely dead. James Harden looks 75 years old, and Donovan Mitchell looks injured. Other than that,
exactly with James Harden. I mean, James Harden just looks like James Harden. He doesn't look like he's
no. Hold on, Termin, don't. Termin, come on. He's last year in Game 6 against the Nuggets. He dropped 28. He looked fine. He looked fine in the Toronto
what did he
series.
Do the next game?
You can't.
The next game in Game 7. He didn't show up, and that's the thing with James Harden. I'm not saying James Harden never shows up. We've held this discussion before, but he also then has games where he completely disappears for an all-time great. Nobody's got more of those on the resume, so you can't be surprised what you've seen from James Harden. It's been the past with James Harden is what you're getting in the future.
All right, Justin. Anthony has just been Debbie Downer all day. Give me some hope. I know there's only a 7% chance that a team will come back from down 0-2 in a series. Tell me some reason that I can believe the Cavaliers can at least make this a series.
Well, I mean, one, you're going back, and I picked Detroit at the beginning of the series, so I really don't think that they're going to come back. But I guess it's Donovan Mitchell does what he's capable of doing, which we really haven't seen since the second game of the Raptors series. And I was thinking about it like last year. Last year, you guys lost, but it wasn't because of Donovan Mitchell. And you go back, and it's like Mitchell had a 48-point game last year. He had a 43-point game. I think he had played 9 postseason games. He gave you 2 40-point games. He gave you 6 30-point games. He hasn't given even one of those this postseason. So, he's capable of doing that. You win a couple of games. But this version of Donovan Mitchell, whether it's a health issue or, a lack of focus, he just doesn't look like the same player that he did last year at the postseason.
It's what it looks like to me. And so because of that, I think he's trying to conserve energy defensively. And when James Harden, I think he gave up, the stats were 7 baskets and 7 attempts from Cade Cunningham in the fourth quarter. So they were matchup hunting. And whether they've matchup hunted on Donovan or James, it's a huge problem if, you have 2 of your guys making that much money that can't play defense right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at everybody else that, that's alive. They can defend. I mean, Detroit is the best defensive team in the Eastern Conference. You just got through Toronto. Toronto's probably the second best defensive team in the Eastern Conference. And we knew that the weakness that's the issue, is you knew the weakness with Cleveland was going to be the defense. And then on top of that, the offense is stunk, right? So they were going to need to win with offense. They turned the ball over way too much. Mitchell isn't what Mitchell's supposed to be. And James Harden is pulling the same old crap that he's done in the past. And then either get Evan Mobley or Jarrett Allen doesn't show up in one game. So last game it wasn't Jarrett Allen. This game it wasn't Evan Mobley. So there's just has one of the 4 stars, has anybody in Cleveland been happy with any of the core 4? One guy
No.
I don't think that you can say that they've been. Like, there hasn't been one of the four that has played well.
I'll give you Allen last night. That's it. I mean, and because he got in foul trouble in game one, he was eliminated there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking from the start of the postseason up till now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not one guy that I would say, all right, well, this guy's at least playing well out of the four. Usually you get, like, the reason that you have multiple stars is, all right, one's off, the other one steps up. I think all four guys have been bad.
How much trouble is Kenny Atkinson in if they can't turn this thing around?
I mean, I don't blame him, but it's it's only been 2 seasons. They couldn't win with J.B. Bickerstaff. J.B. Bickerstaff's clearly a really good head coach. Look what he's doing in Detroit. And I think Kenny Atkinson is a really good head coach. And he, so neither one of these coaches can get him to win. That's on the coach, or is that on the core?
Good question.
Well, we might be talking about, bigger issues than just the head coach if this thing goes down. I mean, can you imagine if they get swept? Dan Gilbert is courtside at all these games. He still lives in Detroit, for part of the year, and he's got to watch the coach that he dismissed because he couldn't get them over the hump, and watch his team get brutally beat down in these games, even though the games are probably closer in score than they've actually looked to the eye test. I think everybody is in jeopardy if this thing goes south.
Yeah, I mean, plus he's paying the most money. It's like you're in a smaller market, and he's paying the most money. I mean, fans should love Dan Gilbert. That's the last guy that they should have an issue with. It should be with the rest of the roster. And like I said, heading into the postseason, there were only really 2 teams that had to blow things up if they failed to have success. They were both in the Eastern Conference because at the look at Boston even won a championship, and that's where I am. And they're talking about maybe blowing things up. But at least Boston, at the end of the day, can say, well, with this core, we won a championship, right? The Pistons can say, you know what? We're still young. We can win in the future. Then you go to the Western Conference. It's like the Thunder. They lose. Well, we won last year. Detroit, San Antonio, we're still really young. It's like almost all the, Denver. Hey, at least we won one with this core, right? Cleveland can't say that. New York can't say that. So either one of these teams flames out, there's going to be massive changes. New York doesn't look like they're going to flame out, but the Cavs certainly do.
I'm just trying to figure out what the Cavs could do moving forward here. And Evan Mobley's stock is not rising during the playoffs right now. Tell me your thoughts on Mobley and what his future might be.
I mean, they might not have a choice because a guy like Donovan Mitchell might, even though he's partly to blame, he might ask out. So then you don't even have a choice, right? Mm-hmm. And with Evan Mobley, I mean, he hasn't, and that's the one thing maybe you could put on these coaches is, has there been any development for Evan Mobley? Like any from day one until where he is now? It certainly hasn't been the jump that we thought it was going to be. Like he got compared with Scotty Barnes for years. How good was Scotty Barnes in that first-round series? Like, you could see the improvement with him. I thought even though Toronto lost, I thought he was clearly the best player in that series. So the development just hasn't been there. And, I don't know what his value around the league is. Clearly it wasn't good enough to get Giannis straight up because you saw that report yesterday where not only did they want Evan Mobley, they wanted all these draft picks. Maybe Milwaukee's in a spot where now they're forced to trade Giannis, and he demands it, and then they'll accept, a little bit less, and Evan Mobley is the centerpiece without all the draft picks. But does Giannis even want to go there, right? He's already in a small market, cold weather market. Does he want to go and play in Cleveland? He might not want to.
Justin Termin joining us right now. So obviously the way the NBA works and the people who cover the league, and I think the fans kind of fall in line, it's a league that when you don't have playoff success, you get crushed no matter how talented you are. And we see that with Joel Embiid. Certainly we've seen it with James Harden over the years. Donovan Mitchell, I've often wondered how he's been able to stay away from a lot of that conversation. I know from time to time people bring up, well, he's never gotten out of the second round. But they don't crush him the way they do guys like Joel Embiid. Is this the start of this? If he loses and it looks like he just flat out can't be the best player on a contending team, is this going to be the turn of the narrative when it comes to Donovan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, and it's a weird thing how you pick on, different guys, just like Baseball Hall of Fame. Well, some people aren't allowed to use steroids like, Barry Bonds, and they keep him out because he was mean to the media. And then you got David Ortiz. Oh, David Ortiz is nice to the media. He can use him if he wants. He gets into the Hall of Fame. It's like the same thing with athletes, right? It's like, well, we're not necessarily crazy about this guy, so we're going to crush him. The other guy gets off the hook. I can't answer it. I do know that, like, in dealing with Donovan Mitchell, that he's like the nicest superstar, personally from a national level. I don't know how he treats the local media.
He's great.
He's the guy is just awesome. So, maybe that plays a role in it, but then there's other guys that are decent with the media that get crushed. So I don't know how they pick on their guy, but I would say he probably gets off the hook a little bit because people are going to go to James Harden. Like, James Harden's the easy guy to blame, even though Donovan Mitchell should be the face of this team. Like, Harden's just the bigger historical name, I guess. And when he has duds like he did last night, like my show today, we're going to mention, like, hey, Donovan Mitchell doesn't look like he did in the postseason last year. Looks maybe a little bit banged up, isn't moving well. But the guy we're going to go all in on is probably James Harden because that performance last night was grotesque, and he's just the easy target. So he probably gets protected by the president. As weird as it sounds, it's almost like if you were going to lose anyway, it's better that you lost with James Harden because people are going to blame him instead of you.
It's a good point. Can you talk about the Cavs' bad starts in both these games, too? Like, they're ill-prepared, didn't seem ready to go. I think they had 4 turnovers in the first 3 minutes yesterday. That matches, how ugly things were at the first quarter in Game 1. I just find it hard to believe a team that's in the playoffs, especially when you've already won a series, can look this bad to start a game. They look ill-prepared.
Yeah, I mean, with Detroit, Detroit had a couple of those in the first round, and I think it helped wake them up. Clearly, Cleveland wasn't woken up by the fact that Toronto pushed them. I thought the Toronto series would – I don't know what you guys think. I thought the Toronto series this year would be good for them that they went 7 games because last year they played Miami. They cruised through them. Then they got to the second round, and it was almost like they weren't ready for playoff basketball because the first round was so easy, and I felt like that hurt them. I thought this year, hey, we went 7 games with Toronto. They put a scare in us, so now we're going to go into the second round, and we're woken up, and we got to understand that we can't play with our food. Clearly that didn't happen. In regards to the slow starts, like, you want me to answer that question. It doesn't even sound like Kenny Atkinson can answer it because they asked him last night, and he goes like, we're still trying to figure it out, even though we're about 90 games into the season. So if he doesn't have an answer, how the heck am I supposed to have one?
It is weird because that group with Harden only had like 6 games and 92 minutes coming into the playoffs, and maybe that's part of the problem too. Is that when you watch this team and they have no chemistry, I mean, that may just be, I don't know, like aftershocks from the trade because they did. I don't know. It's not like I'm making excuses, but I am. That they didn't have enough time to play together during the regular season, and even when they had time to play, even at the end, they were resting guys. I think they had a bad formula going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you make a major trade at the deadline. You got to work out the kinks. And, I've seen this in past years, like with Brooklyn when they had James Harden. Kyrie, Harden, and Durant never played together, right? I think it was 2022 they went into the postseason one year, 2021, and it's like, all right, well, they have all this talent, but they don't know how to play together. And you have to have reps because, you have to be able to say, this is where this guy likes the ball, or this is the play we're going to run in this spot, or this is who gets the ball in this situation, this is where you're supposed to be on the floor. If you don't play together, like, it's just as good as pickup basketball with 5 guys going down to the YMCA. Like, Detroit's played mostly last season together with this core. They played all of this season together. They approached the regular season seriously. They didn't miss games, so that stuff is important.
Justin, looking at Oklahoma City and the Lakers, I marvel at what LeBron is able to do. He goes another 38 minutes last night, more than Donovan Mitchell played yesterday, and he scored 23 points. But in the end, the focus is going to be on the officiating, and it looks like Oklahoma City is going to waltz to a back-to-back title, and it feels like nobody likes them. How do you feel about their tactics and them as a dynasty in the making?
Well, I mean, listen, I get more heat than anybody else in the media because I'm not sure if you heard the saying when somebody called them the black eye of the NBA, and that was me. And I actually got called out by Aaron Wiggins at the parade last year.
Did you just quote yourself, Termini? That's impressive.
Termini did. He quoted himself in third person, nonetheless. But, so I tagged them as the black eye of the NBA. So with me, it goes back even further than their style of play. It goes with the way that the team was constructed when they lost on purpose for multiple seasons, and then they want the ladder pulled up behind them now, along with San Antonio. It's like, we tanked, we got all our good players. Now the ladder comes up, and nobody can build their team the same way. So I don't like that aspect about them. I think it's bad for the NBA that they win that way. When, say, Indiana last year and Kevin Pritchard they didn't tank in order to get to where they were, right? They did it in a small market by just making shrewd moves and trades and not losing on purpose. So I thought it would have been better for the NBA if Indiana won the finals last year. But then on top of that, you throw the way that they foul bait in. And it's not about like the free throws and getting to the line. It's the way that they do it. It's frustrating. You call out SGA. People say you hate SGA. It's not that you dislike SGA. It's just that he doesn't need it. He is so good. He would still be the best guard in the NBA if he wasn't flopping around like a fish and foul baiting nonstop and snapping back his head. But he does it. You saw Chet Holmgren does it last night. And then it's also the juxtaposition as to how their guards like Lou Dort and Alex Caruso basically murder you on the perimeter. So it's impossible. And like, listen, it's not just fans or media complaining about it. People will call up and say, why are you constantly complaining about OKC? Well, because the players are, because the opposing coaches are. If they're talking about it nonstop, what do you want the media to do, to ignore it? So, yeah, I do think that it is an unpleasant way to watch a basketball
disgusting,
game.
Termini.
Every other dynasty, like think of Chicago. Chicago's having their dynasty. You're going, oh, my God, is Michael Jordan great? The Celtics having their dynasty. It's like, oh, well, the passing of that team is amazing. Showtime Lakers, they're so fun to watch. Golden State, Steph Curry, all the great shooting. Like you always pointed to the positives with them. Even if you didn't like them, you couldn't deny that the main topic was always a positive. Oh, Steph shooting. Well, guess what? With Oklahoma City, the main topic, whenever they win a game or play a game, is just the officiating or the flopping. So, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily great for the league.
All right, final question, Termini. We'll get you out on this. Where's LeBron James playing next year?
Ooh.
I think it's going to be the Lakers. I wouldn't have said that maybe a couple of months ago, but with the way that he's been rejuvenated with the Luka injury, I almost think that has helped him keep him in L.A. And listen, he doesn't like Cleveland. He doesn't want to live in.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Because if he did, he wouldn't have left.
Where the hell is that coming from?
He wanted a big market. He only used you guys the second time around to fix his reputation
that might
and
be
a marketing ploy. And plus, you had the good core there with Kyrie Irving to go back to. It was the best option for winning in the Eastern Conference.
Wait, Kyrie wanted out. What are you talking about? Kyrie wanted out of here.
No, I'm saying Kyrie was there when he went back the first time.
Oh, I see. He was there. But Kyrie was like, get me on the first train out of here. I'm not the superstar anymore.
Termini, we're done.
And, he should, because now what does he get cheered in Cleveland? So why not treat Cleveland and the fans horribly? Because you guys are just going to give him a pass anyway.
Wow.
Oh, we're going to retire his number. We'll give him a standing ovation when he comes back.
You know what? I tend to like guys.
Championship, and you forgive him. And then on his way out, he goes, it's nice to be in a real sports town like Boston.
Yeah, enough, Termini.
You know what? I want to take my
Let him go for too long.
I'm taking my talents at Sirius XM. I'm going. I want to be just like Justin.
Did I throw one too many questions in there? Was that the problem? All right, that's Justin Termini. Boy, made an interesting point.
Wait, we didn't even say goodbye.
No,
we're
not going to.
You got to leave.
Wow.
Did slander the city that much.
Did make an interesting point. He says they're going to come on the air today. Him and Eddie Johnson. I love their show. A frequent guest of their show. They have on NBA luminaries all the time, and somehow they squeeze me in. And yet, he's going to start the show blaming Harden, going after Harden. Is that the right guy to blame? Is he the reason they're down 2-0 in this series? We'll get your thoughts. 216-474-0092 on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Oh, boy. You know what Sunday is? No, it's just not Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Oh, no, it's Mother's Day. You forgot. I know maybe I did earlier in the week, but that's okay. We're making things right. And you can make things right, too. You know. tend to look at these games like this. If you can get 5 guys into double figures, you're going to win. And what the Cavaliers haven't been able to do that. And in both games, the Pistons have been able to get 5 guys into double figures. They've won both games. The Cavaliers couldn't get to 100 last night, and now they're chasing their tail again. And so now you come back home. The odds of winning 4 out of 5 are not good. You have a 7% chance of coming back when you're down 0-2 in an NBA series. So I mean, things are cut out for them, but you can't play 5 games at once. Come home tomorrow, win, and then see what happens next. Maybe you can pick up some momentum tomorrow.
Oh, I do think it's an indictment, and we'll get to the phones here in just a second. 216-474-0092. We're mulling over whether we're going to do Coming in Hot.
Oh,
the final segment of the show. We'll see.
Why is there a mulling
We've
over
got
period?
impressionable youth in studio.
No,
I don't know
cares.
if they need to hear some of the vulgarity that comes in with Coming in Hot.
Well, maybe that will encourage the caller
Clean
to
it up.
Yeah,
clean it up, guys.
You think these guys don't know vulgarity?
We
Come
don't,
on, man.
I'm just saying, in this capacity, we don't need that necessarily.
In fact, when they have their own little show that they could do, they could actually, without getting in trouble from the school, they could be vulgar because they're not governed by the same rules that we are.
We
so.
unfortunately are. So just clean
Good
it up.
message for the youth.
Cleaning it up for Coming in Hot.
Message for the youth, yes.
Later on in the show. So isn't it an indictment on this team and their roster makeup that James Harden had to play 37 minutes last night looking like that on both ends? I mean, he got scored on every time in the fourth quarter. So I had made a case for his defense being passable up until last night. I mean, it was one-on-one, seek and destroy, matchup hunting, and that's all they did. And he and the team could do nothing to stop it, let alone what he's doing on offense. And yet Kenny doesn't have a lot of options because he's still got Harden out there 37 minutes. And, oh, by the way, the same amount of minutes that Donovan Mitchell played. Kind of an indictment of the roster at this time of the year, is it not? Most expensive roster in the NBA?
I don't know. What, are you going odder on me? Isn't this an indictment on the political system in the United States? Isn't this an indictment on
this? Do you
this?
disagree?
No, it's an indictment on the game of basketball. What are you supposed to say? They are a better team than what we've watched in Game 1 and Game 2. Detroit has played just a much more efficient game, a smart game, and they've been better when they needed to be better. The Cavs came back in both of these games. Last night, they take at least a 3-point lead, right? And so the Cavaliers are able to do that, and then, boom, man, they go from fifth gear all the way back to first. And it feels like the engine's going to fall out of the car when you have silly turnovers, can't get the ball to where you need it, and God forbid you hit a three-pointer in the fourth quarter last night.
0 for 11 from the three-point line and 7 for 32 in this game. Let's go to the phone. Shot's been waiting a long time to get this off his chest. What's up, man?
Hey.
Yes, I have. Good morning, fellas.
Yeah, thanks for waiting.
Yeah, I definitely, me, first of all, I just want to say it definitely starts with head coaching because there are things that can be done. And the first thing is the swallowing of the pride because James Harden is playing terrible. When you playing in the 82-game season is a joke. It's about 25 to 30 games that are legitimate, intense games that go on during the regular season. The rest of it is like rec ball, load management. Guys are not playing hard. 150, 160-point games are happening. So when you get in the series, teams figure out and they're able to exploit you. Harden's not playing an ounce of defense. You're not winning any playoff series when you have a guy out there that they can constantly pick on. Offensively, he's too slow. Like guys have been saying, he can't get past Duncan Robinson. He's staggering the offense. Then you combine that with Dean Wade. They have no respect. They want him shooting those corner threes. You have to put Strus in the lineup. You have to put a guy that's going to be accounted for, a guy that's going to create space. You also have to take Harden out of the lineup. You have to put a guy out there. Schroeder is a guy that will provide defensive pressure. He's a guy that can get past his man. We're fortunate Emmanuel quickly didn't play in the first round because we would have got cooked by him that whole series. They played us 7 games without a point guard and gave us everything we can handle. But Harden is very slow. And not only has he played 17 seasons, he's been in the playoffs 17 times. So he has a lot of miles on his body, and it shows. He just doesn't have a step. He cannot create for himself. He can't create for the team. I hear Evan Mobley taking a lot of heat, some of it understandable, but you're going to get one rebound when your coach has you out at the three-point line. When you're just on defense, you're constantly having to help in defense because your two best players.
The thing is, though, I watch the Knicks games. They have to cover for Jalen Brunson consistently, too, and they're able to do that. So I think part of the problem is you have Donovan and James that are having trouble playing defense.
Exactly. And part of the other issue is you traded for Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis is their best on-ball defender. In the playoffs, you need guys that can guard. And another thing I want to say, too, real quickly, the Cavs never got back into that game in the third quarter. What ended up happening was Asar Thompson picked up that 4th foul.
That's huge,
His intensity went to the bench. But the minute he came back in that fourth quarter, the game completely turned back around. So,
all right, Sean, I got to move on. I got to get some other callers.
You tell me you're going to play. Are you going to play Harden or Schroeder when Harden's making $500,000 a game?
Well, it can't be about that now.
Schroeder's playing.
My guess.
I agree.
So
but
this is my guess. My guess is this whole thing was about making a deep run. And if they abandon the James Harden thing in that game right there and then, because they still had hope, right? They knew guys were struggling shooting the ball. They still had hope that Harden was going to be able to hit a couple of threes. You know, he's normally not gun shy. Like, he's going to still get them off. And some of them are going to fall, and then things can reverse. They were being hopeful. It didn't go down that way, and now it's like you're stuck because you're still going to start. You're not going to have him come off the bench. He's not an energy player in this series. So they're trying to find something to where he can get going and find a formula for them to make a run, even though we're all looking at it going, it don't look like it's going to happen with him.
To validate the caller's point, though, on that last one, it's like, Harden had 3 assists in 37 minutes last night. 3 assists in 30. And Schroeder came out last night and had 5 assists in 20. So you're not moving the ball, or you're not getting the ball to somebody who can hit a bucket. That's what the problem is there.
All right, let's go to Ira in Cleveland. Next up on the fan.
Ira Newble checking in. Awesome.
What's going on, man?
Ira. Hey.
All right, we're having a problem with the line. Let's go to Rob and Shaker. Go ahead, Rob.
Checked out.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? Turn the radio down. How you doing?
The first quarter starts, in my opinion, been bad for the Cavs. But, I watched that fourth quarter, and Dennis Schroeder, Tyson, and Mitchell, they had, a little run. It was like some energy in the building for us from my ass point of it. But as soon as they put Dean Wade and James Harden back in the game, the whole game went south. And I just didn't agree with that. That's like bad coaching to me. Like, he's not.
Why wouldn't you stay with the hot hand? That's not the first time we've looked at that, too. In fact, we went back and talked about the Toronto series, and Harden said, keep those guys out on the floor at one point. Or Mitchell said that. Yeah. Sorry, Mitchell said, keep those guys out on the floor because they're playing well. I agree. That's coaching. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, but hypothetically, would you now the next game? I know we at home tomorrow or whatever. Now, would you start Dennis Schroeder and Tyson over James Harden and Wade and let them come off the bench?
Harden's going to start.
Yeah, Harden is 100% going to start. The question is Tyson.
Wade is questionable. I would start Tyson.
Does Tyson get the start just because they need somebody who's not going to not that Dean Wade backs down or whatever, and Cunningham's having success against them anyway.
That, is it desperate?
Yeah, it's all desperate.
Yeah, all right.
You
are desperate. Yeah, I guess.
You are talking about trying to salvage something. You have to win Game 3. I thought they had to win Game 2 yesterday. You didn't. Yeah, they're a desperate team right now. I would not be shocked if that is the move that they make. And then they just have to be quicker on the trigger now with Harden. If Harden comes out there, turns the ball over a couple times early, if he looks like he just can't get by anybody, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go to the bench. You have to make real-time moves like that because you're staring at a situation where he was going to decline his player option so he could sign a 2-year deal. Upwards of $90+ million. I got guys in here shaking their heads already. Your Gilmore dudes are already in here saying absolutely not. They want no part of this. You know what we might want a part of? Coming in hot.
There
Kenny is
go.
away. 216-474-0092. Keep it above board. Guys, please. We've got kids in here. Earmuffs. You've got to keep it on the straight and narrow. Nothing beyond the pale. Coming in hot. Final segment of the show is next on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Right at it, dude.
family committed. Learn more at KimballCompanies.com. Kimball, recycling and disposal done right.
I don't know what it is with the start of games. I mean, they came out super aggressive, of course, but it's playoffs. So obviously haven't figured that one out. Still back to the drawing board.
This is the only place to trust for Cavs talk anytime you want. Cleveland's Sports Radio. 92.3 The Fan.
This is head coach Todd Monken, and you're coming in hot.
Wow.
The voice of Todd Monken, and of course, he will be conducting his.
He had no idea, right? He had no idea what he was doing.
No, I don't think he knew what that was.
Well, he said it. It was his words.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you had probably somebody handed him a script and said, "Hi, this is Todd Monken, and I listen to 92.3 The Fan.
Wish we could,
and this is coming in hot."
I wish we could play the outtakes. Our production guy Ted talked about the outtakes.
I doubt there are many outtakes on that.
Sounds like he uses a few choice words. Anyway, we've got coming in hot 216-474-0092. Todd Monken today will be in Berea with the rookies.
Yes,
that are going to be in there along with the undrafted free agents, and they'll put together somewhat of a collection of new football players so they can let those rookies shine. Daryl Ryder will be covering it. Follow all the coverage right here, 92.3 The Fan and the Odyssey app. Are we ready for coming in hot? Are we going to do it today, even with all these high schoolers?
Sure, we can do it.
All right, let's go.
They were saying words off the air.
Uh-oh.
Another word.
All right, Cleveland. It's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
If this goes south, I do have a diabolical question.
Oh, good.
So be careful. Let's roll. Coming in hot, line 1. First off, 92.3 The Fan, you're coming in hot.
You guys are crying real good.
I think I've been all right today
who
so
cares?
far.
We're down 0-2. That's crying.
Line 15. Next up on The Fan, you're coming in hot. Line 15, go ahead. Let's get out of that one. Line 3. Line 3, you're on coming in hot. Don't make me use it.
On the road of life.
Go ahead.
On the road of life, there are ball knowers and there are dad knowers. Lima is neither.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Line 15. Again, we have high school kids in here. The series and the season is not over. You do another one of those.
The segment might be over.
You're getting the diabolical question. I've got it. And we are ready to roll.
What did he mean by that you had to drop it? I don't understand.
Very philosophical.
Yeah,
he went very philosophical there.
Wow.
Keep it clean. Line 5, you're coming in hot. Next up on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
We still gonna win.
Oh, okay.
From your lips to God's ears.
I didn't
216.
think about that.
474-0092. All right, yeah, it's been a rough first 2 games.
Wow, you're bailing on it already?
It hasn't been.
Well, I didn't think about we were still going to win.
That changed everything.
Yeah. I mean, look, these series can shift just like that. They say it's a game of momentum. It's not like the Cavs haven't been in these games. The first 2, they had the lead yesterday in the fourth quarter. After that Evan Mobley dunk, that was a ferocious dunk. Andy Baskin.
Yeah.
Did that get you thinking they would have a shot?
They have a shot. They just got to win the next game. You can't play 5 games in one night. So they just need to rebound, not turn the ball over, hit a couple 3-pointers.
So do a bunch of good things as opposed to the bad things.
I mean, our fans will be pumped up. It'll take them. They're going to be a little nervous, like the Cavs have been in games 1 and 2. Right out of the gate, they're going to be like, "Oh boy, man, if we blow this."
All right, line 1. You're coming in hot.
Well, I know this is coming in hot, but James Harden is ice cold, and I think he's falling, and he can't get up. We got to give him a button.
I always got that one mixed up with that's not the clapper. What was the
Life Alert?
Life Alert. That's right. See, these kids would have no idea.
That's all right. The clapper.
Just everybody has phones now.
Kids, stay away from the clapper.
This all seems very
That means
antiquated.
You can't get up.
Line 2, you're coming in hot.
Cavs 119, Pistons 121. Headline reads, Andy loses it on coming in hot.
There you go. Well done.
Good.
Well
It's a
done.
good blend of the segments.
Yes, it was excellent.
Yeah, he got a prediction in there. That's nice.
I liked it.
All right, I can take 3 more.
We saved the phone.
Are we okay?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Might have to wrap it up on this one. You might have been spared the diabolical question.
Oh, I wanted to hear it.
Coming in hot.
Hello.
You having problems with the phones today, Owen?
No.
People are having trouble
having
using
problems
the
with
phones.
the callers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta let them go. Last one.
So there's been a lot of talk.
Oh,
Andy,
good. Is this diabolical?
there's been a lot of talk. If this series goes south the way it has,
and we're out of time.
Do you want it?
I want
Line
to hear
2.
it. I do want to hear it. Go.
We can do one more? No, we're done.
Do one more.
I think we're having troubles.
That's not how it works.
Oh, my show's coming up next. I don't care. They can go on late. Keep going.
Yeah, give a promo.
Yeah.
Give a promo for the show.
Tom Withers is in today. Intelligent Sports Talk.
We
It's
want to
not
thank.
news until Tom
Line
Withers
1, you're
says
up.
so.
We
Line
want.
1. Hey there.
Go ahead.
Hey, Tony, you're going to be wrong again. You just don't know what you're talking about. A lifelong loser, you are.
Is that Keith Britton? Is that my boss?
You
calling
okay,
in?
man?
So the kids, I got to tell the kids they're all 18, so I don't know if I should call them kids. I told a bunch of people the Cavs were going to the NBA Finals, and they were going to make a run. It doesn't look so good. My prediction doesn't look so good right now. So I'm starting to catch some heat from the fans. I'm sure there will be...
Sounds to me like fans singular, not fans.
There will be some fans and some media brethren on the afternoon show who will probably take some shots at me.
You
know what? Bring it on. I'm sorry for getting excited about the Cavs. They're my hometown team. I like them. I root for them.
I'm a Cavs fan.
I am a Cavs fan. I make that abundantly clear day in and day out.
All right, can we leave? There's another show coming in here, man.
All right,
They need to get the
Basket of Phelps
studio.
coming up next. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Justin Termini. Thank you, everybody from Gilmore. They were asking some very pointy questions about the business.
You were sweating.
They had me on the hot seat. So, Andy, like, take you a little view behind the curtain here. Andy offered to pay for their breakfast, but then put it on the Gilmore credit card. Isn't he a great guy? That's it.
That's how we roll.
Basket of Phelps next on Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Give me the WestG credit card.
I know my rap is not the greatest ever, but that's okay, because I'm on to my next endeavor. I'd like to give a shout out to